Hello, everyone! How are we doing today? I hope everyone is doing well on this fine Friday evening. Who we got today? Boss Buster, good to see you. Wins, hello, hello. Radical4270. Good to see everybody here. Yes, we are back for more Antebellum Lockdown, and by God, we're gonna finish it this week. My scheduling has been crazy, but I hope this is what it's going to stay, so fingers crossed. But at the very least, we are finishing daily this weekend on everybody's soul, I swear, because I have to know who it is, and I cannot be in suspense any longer. Question, when is Deadly? I'm not sure. I don't really keep up with the, other social medias of Antebellum because I don't want to get spoiled, so unfortunately I do not know, but hopefully soon-ish. Rip is pretty good, though, about a semi-consistent release schedule, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. But yeah, I hope everybody has had a good couple of weeks. To kind of summarize last time, not to go into too much detail, but more motive stuff happening. We found Fu, passed out in the hall, and we were like, oh, we're not gonna kill him, right? And they're like, no, surely not. No one was even thinking about it. People were definitely thinking about it, but we didn't kill him. We took him back to his room. We got another tape, all that fun stuff. And I guess we will see what happens next. So let me make sure everything's rocking and rolling. Yeah, I think we're good. Alright, that volume should be okay for you guys, but feel free to let me know if you want it louder, quieter, anything in between. Doop-de-doop-de-doop-de. It's my camera a smidgen here. Okay. Imagine if everyone was planning to take Fu out. You know, there's a good handful. I bet we're at least thinking about it. Ugh, my head. Morning. Huh? What? What time is it? Early. You should take this. The hell are you? Oh, shit. Thanks, kid. Fu rolled over and reached out to take the water I was holding, moving his hand to his head and letting out a groan, laying back. What are you doing here? What do you want? We agreed someone would stay with you. Guess you're doing whatever you can to get any grace with the rest of them, huh? This isn't about me. I've got some questions for you. You're nuts if you think you can play shrink to your captor. How often have you been drinking, Fu? Well, considering he passed out in the hallway of a murder death game, I would assume a decent amount. Having some. Okay. What's it to you? I don't think that's any of your business. We found you passed out in the hall. That's a lot even for someone like you. Quite frankly, it's also a terrible idea if you're running this. You left yourself incredibly vulnerable. Well, God forbid a guy have his fun now he doesn't have to save face. I've just been drinking as much as I like. Got a problem with that? Are you drinking 24/7? Where'd you get that from? Of course you play dumb. Oh, I don't know. Maybe the countless bottles I found hidden under your desk in here? Well, nowhere else to put them now. I'm not the one who chose to have the incinerator locked off. I don't see why you care so much, kid. Not exactly your pal or whatever. Don't delude yourself into thinking you can get me to free you, though. Love or empathy or the power of friendship or whatever you kids are into these days. When did this start? On this level? I know it was bad before, but it was never this bad. After you came out about things? He wasn't gonna give me an answer, and I knew it. He probably wouldn't even admit he was drinking, but I thought I could test my luck. Just wanted to figure out what was going on inside his head. Do you ever look at somebody and wonder, what is going on inside their head? If he was doing extremely poorly, it did not bode well for his future treatment of us, so I wanted to get ahead of any potential issues with him. What do you think of the motive? It's interesting. I don't think it's as good as Chapter 1 or 2's motives. I think those... To put on my writer hat for a second, I don't think it's a bad motive by any means. I think 1 and 2's were more interesting to me because the decisions that had to be made were made by the entire group. Like, the hostage motive, everyone had to decide what hostage to sacrifice. The truth or dare motive, each individual person had to choose whether to do their truth or dare. I think the reason this one doesn't hit quite as hard for me is just Alora is the one making all of the decisions. And I think that is a little less interesting and gives everyone else less agency. I do think the whole, like, coup going on is interesting, and it leads to a very, like, us versus Alora mindset, but I do think it's objectively pretty unbalanced, which, again, like, is the point. Clearly it's meant to be unbalanced, but I think I liked it more when everybody kind of got a say in what was happening, if that makes any sense. Again, I don't think 3's a bad motive, but I do think I preferred 1 and 2's to it. After Takiko's death, he still didn't say a word, but his demeanor seemed to shift slightly as I mentioned her. I sat there in silence, hoping that not saying anything further would force him to speak. And, to my surprise, he eventually did, avoiding eye contact with me. You think there's a world out there where she was able to find happiness? Well, I don't know what I was expecting, but it certainly wasn't that. Where girls like her could be free. I felt my fist clench hearing him, of all people, ask that, and I hardly had the right to get mad at what he was saying, considering my own perception of everything until yesterday. See, what's interesting about this is Fu seems, like, really genuinely torn up over Takiko's death. But if he is, like, one of the people behind this, that just makes him such a big hypocrite, because she wouldn't have been in this situation if it wasn't for you and the people running this. Which either leads me to believe one of two conclusions. Either Fu is just a massive hypocrite, which is interesting, or Fu's not as involved and doesn't have as much control as he's claiming he does, which is also interesting. So we'll see. We'll see. I hope there is. There should be. Otherwise, I think we really might be doomed. Oops. I couldn't bite my tongue. Why did you— oh! Oh, well, maybe I should have just, like, advanced the game a few more lines. Why did you bring her into the game in the first place if you didn't want that to happen to her? He immediately snapped his gaze to me, his tone sharpening. I took a step back instinctively. Listen, kid, I've made a whole lot of bad choices without thinking about them. That's one choice I'd never make. I'd never choose to have her here. Then who did choose it? Who decided it was okay for any of us to be here? Choices. Choices. We make them all the time, but they're funny things, you know? You never really do know if you made the right choice, no matter what. Now we're just, like, spouting philosophical bullshit to dodge the question. Oh, Fu, never change. Because no matter how convinced you are that you do, you'll never know for sure how things could have turned out if you did or said something differently. Yes, they matter so much. Everyone who's died so far has been because someone along the line made a choice. Whew. Excuse me. Guess that goes without saying, but it's crazy how your own choices can affect so many other people. Kinda makes it unbearable to live sometimes, don't you think? I knew he was intentionally diverting the subject, but still. I hate this motive. I feel like no matter what I do, I'm making the wrong choice at every turn. You're not the one deciding anything, kid. The doc is. But I'm still making choices. None of them feel good. I feel like I'm tied between two worlds, and trying to play the middle ground is just causing more tension to arise. Well, there's no right or wrong choices. There's just the choices you make in life. I don't know, I feel like in some cases there are, in fact, right and wrong choices, but... you can live with them and see them through to the end, or at least not run away from the consequences of whatever choices you made, then I think that's what counts. Being so scared of what the future could hold that you end up making no choice at all just keeps you stuck where you are. Nothing will change unless you take that initiative yourself. You don't make any sense to me. Letting the world move around you and refusing to stand up for anything or anyone because you're scared of consequences from either side doesn't make much sense to me, but seems to be the Shinku special, huh? Oh, don't give me that look, kid. Isn't the first time I've brought up your fence sitting, and definitely won't be the last if you keep going like this. Ever since we've gotten here, you've refused to take a stance on anything until it's way too late. Always half-heartedly supported the audience's verdicts without ever fully disagreeing or agreeing with them. Feels like you can't form a solid opinion to save your life. Or, well, that's not fair. I think you can form a solid opinion quite easily. Now, voicing it? That's where you have issues, isn't it? What does this have to do with anything? Come on. It's just cozy to stay in that space in the middle, huh? Never upsetting anyone, but never standing up for anyone until it's way too late. That's not... You're the bigger person here. Don't want to get in trouble. Just let him rattle on, Shinku. He's just trying to aggravate you. Don't let it get to you. Uh-oh. Excluding anything that's ugly. Doesn't fit into the nice boxes you shove people into. You couldn't even recognize that Molly was the type to have done the suicide pact when you learned she did it. Hell, you couldn't step up and have a solid stance for Molly until she was already dead. Never mind. I didn't even realize how quickly my hand moved on its own. Hit him, hit him, hit him. Oh. Slap. Close enough, yeah. The we got it, guys. We got the Danganronpa slap. Every game. Slapped Fu clean across the face. You know what? Deserved. Get him, Shinku. There. Is that enough of a stance for you? Get your act together. Stop running your mouth about my issues when it's more than clear you've got a whole heap of them hidden below your desk. You might be happy stagnating and backpedaling, but I'm going to do better. I'll step up. So don't you dare say anything about her when she was able to improve more in a few weeks than you have in your 35 years on this planet. I was stunned I'd managed to muster the courage or drive to do that in the first place. Maybe it was just the adrenaline pushing me before I had a chance to properly consider my actions. A wave of dread almost immediately washed over me. I was expecting him to punish me or Mononeko to appear, but instead... He smiled at me, his eyes lighting up a little bit, weirdly enough. He seemed almost proud. What's so funny? I knew you had it in you, kid. I blinked at him for a bit, trying to figure out what exactly he meant by that. Now I just wish the others could do the same. What do you... Before I could question Fu further, the door to his cell opened. An unexpected figure standing in the hallway, looking at us both. Alora? Ha! Knew it. I knew I could hear something, but this is a little surprising. Dr. Elanius, it's... Kutsuki, you're coming with me. Looks like someone's in trouble. Don't put ideas in his head. He's not. I just have a few questions. I felt a pit in my stomach. Had she caught our night meetings? Is that a problem? No, not at all. Good. I'm glad you're being sensible about this. Follow me. Let's check the stock in the medicine storage together. Ensure nothing is unaccounted for. Alright. Good luck, kid. Looks like you're gonna need it. Thanks. I followed Dr. Elanius to the medicine storage, my throat going dry as she took me there. I knew it was unlikely she meant anything malicious, but I couldn't help but feel nervous about it all. Guys, do you think Shinku was the kind of person to be like, Teacher, you forgot to collect our homework? If he wasn't a teacher's pet, he definitely strikes me as the type to, like, really hate being in trouble with authority and very much, like, not wanting to have his teachers or anyone be upset at him. Like, if Bro's the kind of guy who, if he got called to the principal's office, even if he knows he didn't do anything wrong, he would be like, oh god, they're gonna kick me out. What did I do? I just wish she'd tell me what it was about. That would stop this terrible knot of anxiety in my stomach. Or at least speak on the journey over there instead of letting us stay in this terrible silence. We entered the room and she closed the door behind her. So, what should we start counting first? We're not actually counting stock, Kutsuki. I see. I Met God is an insane track name. Typically, if I need to question someone, I take them to the showers in the morning, since it can easily be passed off as me just helping those who can't operate them alone, helping them. But your lack of verdict would make that suspicious. Question someone? It's best to do these things in private, I find. That doesn't really clear things up here. I'll just cut to the chase. Well, before that, I do have a new question. What were you doing in Wang's cell, Kutsuki? Well, she does deserve to know, but I don't know how many details I can realistically give her without giving away the night meetings. I know she'll question if I tell her I was walking around last night, but I'd feel awful making another lie just to cover my tracks. I really do not like breaking Dr. Elenius' trust whatsoever. I especially don't want to do it after I already did so yesterday. I'm one of the few people left here she can trust, and if that's breached, who knows how severe she could get. She might actually become the strict enforcer, just waiting to enact her power that everyone keeps trying to frame her as. And I don't want that. I want her to prove people wrong. But I knew I had to tell one small white lie to cover for the others and not get them in trouble. Even if they didn't have the best opinion of me, I did agree to stand with them. So, if it's to protect their peace... I was headed to the shower block last night, since I'd lost track of time and forgotten to shower earlier. Forgive me, Dr. Elenius. When I found Fu passed out in the middle of the hallway. What? It was really bizarre. He was completely blackout drunk. I think he's been drinking almost 24/7 the last few days. There were all sorts of bottles hidden in his cell. I helped get him back to his cell and stayed there overnight. I know you wanted us to all stick to our own cells, and I apologize if I broke your trust there. But I thought if I caught him in the morning, I'd be able to interrogate him about finding him there. Were you able to get any relevant information? Just a lot of non-answers, really. Sounds about correct for Wang. Unfortunately, I apologize I couldn't get more information. Dr. Elenius let out a sigh and looked at me. It's fine. This really shouldn't be your job, Kutsuki. Please, try to be more careful in the future. I understand we're all eager to escape, but sticking your noses in places it doesn't belong could lead to putting your life at risk. I really do not want to lose you, or anyone else here. But this, paired with your delinquency yesterday with Elias, it's very unlike you. Try to be cautious and smart about this, Kutsuki. Please. Right, I will. Now, on to what I was initially planning on asking you about. You are aware of your current position, aren't you, Kutsuki? Huh? What do you mean? Out of everyone alive, you are the last unjudged prisoner. This puts you in a precarious position. Well, no, I mean, Fu hasn't been judged. It's what, Fu, Dracul, and Shinku? I think? If memory serves? It's Dracul, Mint, Asuga, Laura, Takiko, Taka, Molly, Ismini. I think so, yeah. Right. Okay, well, all that effort to think of them, and they just tell me on the next slide. The only crimes that hadn't been revealed yet were Fu, Dracul's, and my own. I wasn't sure Fu counted anymore due to the recent revelations about him, and Dracul wouldn't live to see the consequences of his crime being out. I'm aware, but I'm uncertain what about that is risky. Out of everyone here, I cannot account for what you've done. With everyone else, I can have vague ideas of their behaviors and potential risk factors that may lead to them making a drastic decision. I'm very interested in what Shinku's verdict is going to be, because if his crime came out last chapter, I have no doubt he would be guilty by, like, a very significant margin. But Shinku's whole thing this chapter has been, like, trying to become a better person. At least that's the impression I got. So, I mean, obviously it's going to depend on, like, what his crime actually was. But I do wonder if people are going to be able to forgive him or not based on how he's been acting this chapter. I don't know. It'll be interesting. I'm excited. Very excited. But the uncertainty of your situation makes you something of a liability. I see. Kutsuki, you have seen me at my worst. I have already been condemned for my actions. I am in no position to judge you. I need you to understand that. The other thing that's interesting, too, about Shinku that puts him in a, unique position... Well, I guess there's two things. One of them is that the final judgment, I assume... I guess I don't know if the next chapter is gonna, like, take place in the prison or not. I don't know how long Shinku's going to have to live with the effects of his verdict. And I guess the other more important thing that I was gonna say initially was, Shinku's the player character. We get insight into his thoughts and head more than we do anybody else. And I don't know if that's going to help or hurt him. I imagine a world, right, where we don't have Shinku's inner monologue. Would that help or hurt his chances? I don't know. It's fascinating. I do love the crimes and the verdict system set up here. I think there's a lot of nuance and a lot of interesting discussion to be had, especially because, like, Takiko was voted guilty. But I think if Zeke and Takiko's crime order was reversed, I don't know if Takiko would have gotten guilty. Like, that also plays a part in things. There's so many pieces moving to determine... Or, like, Alora, for example. You don't just judge the crime, you have to keep in mind, like, she loses access to things, and she's our medic. Do you want to vote her worthy because you want our medic to have better access to the facility, not so much that you care about the crime? There's so many factors to consider, and it's awesome, is what I'm trying to say. But tangent over. If you could disclose your crime to me, that would be of great assistance. He's not doing it. No chance in hell. They're not gonna drop it here. They're gonna wait. What? I understand the futility of asking you this, since I know it's likely you will lie, but I'd greatly appreciate your honesty and cooperation here. I promise you, I only want to know this for your own benefit and safety. I just want to account for any potential possibilities or complications that could jeopardize our continued survival. This is an unfair position, Dr. Elanius. If I don't disclose anything, you'll certainly assume the worst. I do not intend to be. If you wish to stay quiet, that's your prerogative. I will not push the topic any further. But you have power over me here. You could detain me at any moment, or restrict my food further, or... You don't think I'd do that, would you? Kutsuki, please, out of everyone, you still believe I'm only trying to help, don't you? I do. I'm just nervous. I don't know. Don't you think this is going a bit too far? You can't completely control and account for everything other people will think or feel, but I can try. I have to try. That's better than doing nothing. I understand you have good intentions here, but I think you're not going to be happy with the person you'll become in the process. I accepted a long time ago that in order to do what I had to do, I couldn't be a good person. You cannot do these kinds of experiments. You cannot reduce lives to subjects and weigh the value of individuals' lives against one another, while still believing you are a good person, no matter your intentions. The cognitive dissonance would ruin you. But you don't have to be a bad person. I hardly deserve a second chance after everything I've done. After Taka. The only thing I can do now is ensure you all stay alive for as long as possible, even if you hate me. That's all I can do to even start to make up for it all. Dude, once the body hits, if it's not Alora, she's gonna tweak out. It's gonna be so bad. Do you really think that? Is that why you haven't taken out the earpiece? I guess when reality has completely rejected everything you spent your whole life doing, it's easier to hide away in fantasy. Dracul was like that. Molly, too. But, you know, she was only really able to grow when she stopped hiding in her fantasies and instead faced reality. It's different. I'm not hiding. Then what are you doing? This isn't about me. I'm asking for your cooperation here, Kutsuki. Dr. Elanius, please. I want to help. Dr. Elanius took a step away from me after staring at me for what felt like an eternity, letting out a deep sigh and pinching the bridge of her nose. I've done something awful, Kutsuki. It can't be worse than anything else we've seen you do. Damn, that's crazy. I mean, he's not wrong, but goddamn, have some tact. It is. Let me make this clear. This does not leave this room. Not under any circumstances. Of course. You can trust me, Dr. Elanius. Okay. I'd like to think I could, but these last few days... She looked at me once again, as if she was debating if it was really a good idea to disclose this all to me. But, like it or not, I think you're the person here I can trust the most. Okay, what could possibly be worse than, like, killing Taka? And, even if telling you isn't ideal, I cannot keep the weight of this on my chest any longer. I need to confess what I've done. You're scaring me a little. I apologize. But I'd rather you did speak about it. So, whatever it is, I promise not to tell the others. After the last trial, after my verdict, I made a deal with the wardens. With Mononeko. What? Let me establish, first and foremost here, it was not to harm any of you. Quite the contrary, really. Then what was it? In return to having whatever the next motive was disproportionately affect me more than the others, I asked them to update my earpiece. To train a second model off of their footage of Taka. Oh, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. It's not worse than killing Taka, but it's pretty bad. Oh. If the others knew that, they'd certainly be upset, but more alarmingly, her verdict had made it so she really hadn't changed at all. She was just diving deeper into our unhealthy coping mechanisms. I knew it wasn't my business, but that broke my heart. Well, did it make you feel any better? Truthfully? It makes me feel awful, Kutsuki. Every single time I hear his voice again, I feel like I'm going to be sick knowing what I've taken from this world. It takes a lot of mental energy not to burst into tears every time he activates. Then why don't you take it out? Leave it behind, Dr. Elanius. I know you can, come on. I couldn't possibly. I've made it so I cannot hide in fantasy. Instead, I must hide from it. Focus on my reality to not face the damage my fantasies have done. I deserve that misery. That sick feeling in my chest. It helps me remind myself that my situation is by no means unfair. It is all something I've brought onto myself. Now, the responsibility falls on me to make sure we can all leave safely. Spent the best attempts from the audience and the wardens to keep us here. They may view this motive as disproportionately putting a target on me specifically, but I see it as one final chance to make things right. I cannot afford to make mistakes now. If I can lead us out of here safely, then I'll take it out. Then I'll free myself from the past. And if you die before that point, then at least I tried. You don't need to torture yourself in the process, Dr. Elanius. It's going a little too far, don't you think? A bit foolish. And maybe I am. Listen to yourself. You're putting your own pride before your humanity. Do you think Taka would have wanted this? I clearly never knew what he wanted. That's what got me to this point in the first place. So what does it matter? Then do it for him now. Treat yourself how he would have treated you. Live how he'd want you to, as the person he knew you as. There's far too much on the line now to give myself that much grace. Are you really willing to die as Dr. Elanius and not Alora? Have I ever really been Alora? Since the beginning of this. No. Since even before this. I was Dr. Elanius first and foremost, before I was my own person. I was your potential for escape. Organizer. A tool to make your life here bearable. The second I showed how flawed I really was. All the childish and pathetic parts of me that made me Alora and not just some machine. I was rejected. Everyone has made it clear what they need me to be. So that's what I'll be for everyone. If they hate me in the process, then so be it. Alora, let's go, Kutsuki. It's clear you're not going to disclose your crime to me. That's fine. I won't force you. We should make our way to the canteen. The others are waiting. God, Alora's character is so good. I love her writing so much. I could gush about it for ages. Alora moved to the door, waiting for me to follow, but stopped as I opened my mouth one last time. I would have really liked to meet her. I hope, when we're all out of here, I'll get the chance. She seemed to falter for a moment. Don't give me false hope, Tsuki. Please, please, let her make it, please, please. I'm so scared, I'm so scared. She's got as many death flags as Molly did, bro. The silence that fell between us as we returned as we made our way to the canteen, where everyone else had already gathered. Maybe feasting so much last night was a bad idea. Our portions for breakfast seemed even smaller in comparison to that. I knew I'd feel hungry in about half an hour. But we had bigger things to worry about. Namely, whatever condition Alora would have to pick today. Thank you for making breakfast. I do appreciate it. I hope the guides were sufficient. For everyone's compensation today. Orange juice. Is that it? Well, no one had any suggestions. I mean, I guess it could be worse. Bits or no bits? How the fuck can you deal with riding a motorcycle shirtless through flaming chainsaws or whatever, but can't deal with bits? Is that... I assume they're talking about, like, pulp in the orange juice? I've never heard it called bits before. Oh, shut the hell up. I'm not the one who always needs to be doing something where she explodes. At least those two seem to be doing... slightly better? Maybe? I didn't know. It was hard to tell with them. Either way, we've been without direct sunlight for multiple months now. Orange juice should give you certain essential nutrients you're most likely lacking. Thank you. At the very least, it's refreshing. I'll attempt to think of a better reward tomorrow. I apologize that I'm not the most creative. I just hope our work today isn't too hard. Hopefully the conditions don't throw any major curveballs at us.
Oh, right. Yes, yes. The conditions. I almost forgot.
As if on cue, the cat appeared in front of us. But where's Fu?
Oh, he slept in, so none of him today. We're returning back to the basics this morning. Just me and you guys. It's like old times again, isn't it? Ah, how nostalgic. We've come so far. Speaking of nostalgia, I thought we'd do a bit of a callback with today's potential conditions, bringing back some old fan favorites.
I think that's a little hard, considering most of them are, you know, dead.
Oh, no, not them. If we did that, the people would have all sorts of complaints. Not to mention it's impossible, unless you want to pull an Alora Elanius.
Let's slip the pointless insults. I assume that meant skip. Just tell me the options for today.
We can either bring back the hostage motive and have all the hostages of those currently alive go through another consequence, or their first.
What? No way, you already...
Or you can choose to have all the truths from day 1 to 4 of those currently alive out in the open.
Eek! That's rough, buddy. I mean, I think you gotta go the truths. Even if I do believe the hostage consequences were already done in advance, because there's no way they could have done all that, like, excuse me, minutes after they voted. I don't know if it's worth the risk to other people. Like, you're actually harming other people versus, yeah, the truths suck, and I'm sure they're awful, but then everything we did, all those dares,
maybe for nothing,
But if Alora doesn't pick the truths to be outed, our hostages, we already saw how severe the level 1 consequences were. Considering it would be Shinku, Lyra, and Ezekiel's hostages' second consequence, it's almost certain we might have another life on our conscience if we chose that. If they haven't already faced the consequences in the first place. With how quickly they produced those videos, it's all but confirmed they're all pre-recorded. I'm sorry to burst everyone's bubble, but anything they could do to their hostages, they've likely already faced. I trust your judgment here, but are you really willing to risk that if you're wrong? I just really don't want to risk it. I don't want to hurt Nico. Santil, are you not the one who left him in his current situation in the first place? Well, yeah. But just because I messed up there doesn't mean I want to make anything actively worse for him. But are you prepared to have your secrets outed to the world? Of course. They've already seen my crime and said it was okay. I've got nothing else to hide. Anything they could dig about me, I stand by. Suppose if you have nothing to hide, you'd be okay with your truths being outed. Well, I don't really see anyone exactly jumping to have their secrets out in the open. I understand the hostage thing. Trust me. If it would make you more comfortable, then I guess we could air our dirty laundry. But neither of these options are, you know, good. Unfortunately, Lyra, I think that is the point. Yeah.
That's kind of the point of a motive. Hate to break it to you.
What does it matter? Practically all our crimes have already been exposed. Our secrets surely cannot make our reputations any worse. Well, all our crimes aside from... But surely he wouldn't argue in favor of getting everyone's loved ones hurt in exchange for preserving his reputation. Would you, Shinku? Given how everyone's eyes were on me, I didn't really feel like I could say no in that situation. But if my Day 4 truth came out, then there was absolutely no way any of them would ever see me the same again. More importantly, given her history with Dakota, any small possibility I did have of making amends with Ismini would be completely shattered. But if I argued, I'd be causing more issues. It would probably raise more questions. I hated this. It felt like back when they picked Ichi for the hostage motive. But before I could say anything, Alora spoke up. It's not worth arguing this. I'm not risking any more potential casualties, in or outside of the game. At least we know what's coming if we pick to have all our truths outed. The same cannot be said for picking the hostages.
So, is that your decision? Picking to have your truths outed?
Yes, I'm sure.
Even after all the hard work you put in with the acid to hide your fourth truth?
Don't remind me.
Well, if that's your decision, then that's it.
It's not like we have to look at one another's truths. We could agree to just ignore them. You seriously think no one would try to sneak a peek? Burn them.
I think this could be a wonderful opportunity for some bonding, actually. How about we have a look through them together?
In front of everyone?
Of course! It's like Santil said. If you've got nothing else to hide, that shouldn't be an issue, should it?
This is really not ideal.
Well, it's what you chose. You have to live with the consequences of your actions. And really, I think this could be wonderfully enlightening. Shall we begin?
Before any of us got a chance to have any say in it, Mononeko immediately slapped down a piece of paper on the table. One, with my name written at the top of it. Alright, we know these. When you feel lonely, you self-insert fanfic. You leave harsh reviews on a fanfic written by children on an alt account. You kill people based on you kill characters, not people, based on people you don't like, and you drove your sister to suicide.
Ta-da! Not too many surprises here. He wasn't exactly the best at getting his dares done, was he? Well, ignoring the obvious elephant of day 4, no wonder he managed to do his dare that day. Oh well, too bad it was for nothing.
You did... what?
And that's not your crime?
The fuck could it possibly be then?
It's part of it. I really don't want to talk about it.
I assume whatever Shingu's crime was, is what drove his sister to suicide.
Whatever it is, I'll leave you to discuss that later. I'm sure you have a lot of questions, but we've got even more to get through. Lyra, let's see those truths you were so desperate to hide that you were willing to complete all your dares, no matter how extreme.
Alright, let's see. Lyra Chattel is not your real name. Okay, who cares? Used to harass and bully your sibling and other children your age to the point you were ostracized from your family and forced to leave. Not great. You had an abortion after a relationship you had with an older man resulted in pregnancy. Okay. You sat and watched someone overdose in front of you, not attempting to help or intervene at all. I feel like the circumstances of 4 is gonna do a lot of heavy lifting. Was it a bad person?
Wow, that's...
We don't have to talk about it.
Ly, are you...
I'm good. I really didn't want this stuff to get out. I don't like thinking about it. I don't like people knowing all this shit from when I was younger. It feels invasive.
It is invasive. It's awful. None of this should be out in the first place, but...
Hey, it's all right. We don't gotta bring it up anymore.
Right. I mean, the last one is a little concerning, but...
I was just being selfish. I was scared of getting arrested. I was 17 or some shit. What was I meant to do? Back in those days, yeah, of course I was going to be selfish. At the end of the day, no one's life mattered to me more than my own. He was a roof over my head, a meal, and a bit of entertainment. That sounds awful, but it's how it was. When I saw his body, my first thought wasn't, oh god, he died. It was, oh god, I can't stay in this apartment for much longer.
That's really what you thought?
Back then, I just assumed everyone else saw me the same way I saw them. Most friendship or relationships I had back then were pretty transactional. It was pretty hard to care about people, and I just assumed they didn't really give a shit about me at the end of the day. If you get too attached, you were just setting yourself up for getting hurt when they pulled some insane shit or left you. That's just how I felt back then. If I could be discarded as spoiled goods the second I got inconvenient, they could too. It made sense to me back then, as messed up as that sounds. Sorry, it's ugly, I know. But I couldn't bring myself to make up some sort of lie or excuse. You deserve to see it for what it is.
I don't know, what I really like about Lockdown and its cast and the writing is it's not afraid to make its characters bad people. Not even bad people. Have them do bad things. I feel like a lot of writers, at least, how do I want to word this? At least I see a lot of it in fandom culture, I guess. there's a almost fear of letting your characters do bad things because you want people to like them, and I like how Lockdown isn't afraid to just have their characters do bad things. I'm not articulating this well, I apologize, but I like that they're willing to show the ugly sides of these characters and not shy away from it or try and justify it, or like they don't spend then the next half hour having Lyra be like, oh, well, yeah, I did watch someone do that, but it's actually okay because, like, he was a terrible puppy kicker, you know? I don't know, I like it. It makes for more nuanced characters and discussions, and I enjoy that.
Even if it's ugly, I want to know about it. Because you're my friend. And one or two ugly parts doesn't make you rotten to the core. It just makes you human.
Suppose it does. Guess we've all done some pretty messed up shit, huh?
Let's just move on to Elias's.
Oh, that'll be good. Alright. Alright, Zeke.
Alrighty. Let's see if this'll help knock him down a few more pegs. He has been all confident lately.
Okay. Ever since your youth, you've been preoccupied in church sermons, saying about the true nature of what the fuck? Okay, number one is Zeke likes Bible yaoi, I guess. You left Michael alone in a living environment that was living hell for him. Yeah, pretty bad. Bergamo was Peaker, extremely violent person. Yeah, I mean, I think we knew day 3. Zeke, part of you adores your electric scars, much to one's Michael sustained from his electro. Holy shit, that's crazy. How do you know that? Are you like a mind reader? Did he write that down in his diary or something? How did you figure that out? But also, what the fuck? Yeah, there was a lot more Michael than I was expecting. If I wasn't scared of what Ezekiel's reaction could potentially be, I would question the first one, but wasn't much of a surprise considering how he's been acting around Mint. Damn! That's crazy. Crazy, Shinku. Crazy thing to think.
Michael, you're hostage? Hey, come on, you can't hold yourself fully responsible for that. I'm sure you were just a kid trying your best.
I don't think he was. I don't know about that, Asuga.
He left me, as far as I'm concerned.
Suppose that was easy for Asuga to say after they'd left their brother in an allegedly harmful situation as well.
I wasn't aware you had electrical scars.
I got them from a stun a while back. They stretch out over most of my back.
Oh, this makes me wonder if you got them intentionally.
Oh. That's, okay, I'm not sure about that one.
Whatever happened between the two of you? How deluded do you have to be to find comfort in matching scars?
That's why you think Zeke's deluded? Okay. I'm pretty sure Ismini was trying to do something similar with her classmates, but I bit my tongue. It was best not to start anything.
Shut the hell up. Don't act like you know anything about me, Isabel. I bet there's something real messed up on yours.
Wasn't one of Ismini's like, if I remember correctly, it's like, oh, she wanted like a harem of female nymphs to worship her or something. Like, it's just Yuri-ful.
Oh, please. You can't seriously be that immature.
Let us just proceed to mine. I'd rather get it over and done with. Besides, none of Elias's are particularly shocking.
What's that meant to mean?
Aye, Warden. Let's see why exactly you were willing to give yourself a little acid shower.
Despite your stoic nature, you have an extensive doll collection. Okay, that one got outed.
You've already seen the worst.
You consistently endorse research that resulted in the abuse and neglect of your twin sister you'll cover the existence of. I think we figured that one out too. You're horrible with loss. Using chatbot AI technology, you create a replication of your dead friend without her consent. Furthermore, you're unable to function without it. That did not come out. Your work has helped develop bioweapons that may be used in the future to harm innocent civilians. I mean, 4 is bad, but it depends on the context. Like, they're wording this like, oh yeah, Allura was making nukes, but it says your work has helped develop bioweapons that may be used in the future to harm innocent civilians. Well, yes, this wasn't anything we didn't know already or couldn't infer from everything else going on.
Does anyone have anything to say? I'd rather clear things up now.
I just don't know how you can live with yourself.
I cannot change what I've done in the past, but I can at least keep all of you alive for as long as possible, to at least try to rectify some of my mistakes.
If you really wanted to make it seem like you were making a proper effort to change, you'd take out that earpiece.
Let's just move on to Cersei's.
Right, our favorite little Nepo baby. Let's see what else you could possibly have hidden in your closet.
Yeah, first one was Harem of Nymphs.
Wait, hold the phone. You've got a fiancé? Hello? Why have you not mentioned this before?
That one didn't come out. You don't love your fiancé and never will. You'd be willing to cheat on him without hesitation if a better person came along. I mean... it's not good, but also... again, this could just be my interpretation, but... is this meaning, like, written to be a lesbian? Because that was the vibe I got, and, like, she can't love guys, but I'm not sure if that's the intended interpretation or that's just how I read it. But anyway, we saw 3. Your whole life has been funded by blood money. Your family's fortune originated from the exploitation of others and extraction of natural resources from lands that were never your own.
I hardly think that's relevant here.
Of course not! Especially when she's willing to cheat on him at any given opportunity.
Hey now, let's not be too harsh on her. It's not like she actually did cheat.
Also, again, how do you know that? Did Ismini tell that to somebody and you got it on the cameras, or?
Yeah, it would be a little ridiculous to give her more shit for potential cheating than Allura let us give Shinku for driving his sister to suicide.
Well, I was going to attempt to defend Ismini here, but it might be best to shut my mouth for now.
I think we're sort of brushing over the blood money thing here. I think that's a little more important.
Well, I certainly didn't have any say in that. I wasn't the one who initially exploited them. I don't believe it's a crime to be born into money. I didn't ask for it. I wasn't even aware of it until I was well into being an adult, and even then I suppose I just never really thought about it. It's just how I've always lived.
I guess it's not really any different to you, Everything you value in your life is the result of these sorts of systems of exploitation. Well, everything you value that you still have, that your actions hadn't caused to shatter. You're such a silly little girl. Now, it doesn't really matter, but he's taken a lot of steps to even the playing field for you, so let's divulge Fu's truths.
Oh, these'll be interesting.
I don't really see the point in that. It's unlikely any of them are anything more than lies.
Yeah, he probably just made up a load of bullshit.
Oh, I'm sure they're true.
I guess it wouldn't hurt to take a look anyway.
Oh, wait, one is just sad. I mean, yeah, it's embarrassing, but... you're still only able to good night's sleep when you're able to hear your mother's lullabies. You ruin a small... yeah, okay, we saw 2. You were the reason your marriage fell apart, and you'll never meet anyone you love quite like her ever again. You only gained your ultimate through blackmailing, showing an influential politician you had dirt on. Your talent, for all intents and purposes, is fraudulent. Hold on, I have to sneeze. I feel like 2 is easily the worst one there. But... and that's, like, the only one he let come out. I guess he just needed an excuse to get out of his cell from that day onward. But even so... looking at these, I couldn't shake the feeling that...
I do not know how much insight we can possibly glean from these.
Depends if they're true or not, but there's not really a way to confirm or deny that, huh?
Either way, I doubt anything here is particularly relevant. I don't believe any of this information would be useful, even if it was true.
Might give us more insight as to why he's doing this at the very least.
If he really is doing this.
Huh?
Clock it, Lyra. That's why you're my fave.
Never mind. Guess I'm just skeptical and shit.
No, you're right. You're so right.
Let's just move on to our most worthy prisoner alive, Asuka! What could someone so perfect and deserving of redemption have possibly done that they wanted to hide.
Hey, I only completed my dare one of the days. I'm an open book compared to some of the others.
Yes, you're very lucky Takiko decided to lose it before
Whoa.
you'd have to cover for your day 4 truth. Aren't you?
Don't put it like that.
Let's take a look at your truths, Asuka.
Highest score you've gotten on a test is 40. Yeah, we saw that one.
Kidnapping. Forgive me for asking, but
Cruel to other kids. You left your little brother in an exploitation situation. From a legal standpoint, you could be charged for multiple cases of kidnapping minor members of your circus. That, from a legal standpoint, really doing a lot of heavy lifting. I'll bet they intentionally went with her. But from a legal standpoint, it could be considered kidnapping.
It's not like that. It's just because I didn't have legal custody of the minors who chose to join the troop, alright? But it was all their choice. If I hadn't taken them in and let them join us, who knows what would have happened to them? They clearly weren't happy before. I just wanted to give them somewhere they could be. And besides, I didn't want to leave anyone behind again after Nico.
I can believe it. I don't think you did anything wrong.
Okay, I think they did a few things wrong.
Thank you, Lyra.
Who cares? All that child modeling shit was in the past. Besides, it was probably just the industry.
oh, of course you'd be fine because it was the industry. Have you seriously learned nothing?
That's different. I can understand the position they were in during it. Besides, they were just a kid.
It was a little concerning, even if Ezekiel had started to acknowledge the error of his ways, how much he seemed to be enabling Asuga. I'd stayed quiet for the most part out of fear of being ostracized, especially with how severe those meetings could be. But I was certain it would eventually reach a boiling point.
But that's a wrap. I think we've all learned a whole bunch about each other, haven't we? Isn't that fun?
Mono Neko left all the papers on the table for people to return to and look over later, as they let out a small purr and hopped off the table themselves.
I'll leave you all to mull over those. I'm sure it's given you all a lot to think about. Oh, I sure do hope it won't break apart what little unity you were starting to build back between you. That would be just terrible.
Oh, shut up.
Bye-bye, prisoners. See you tomorrow.
The cat hopped through the vents, leaving us all alone back at the canteen. Silence fell over all of us for a moment before Laura started to speak. Well, now that that's dealt with, I think we should move on to the labor assignments. What? No way. How can we just move past that? You insane? I think it's a bit of a fucking discussion that needs to be had. Can't just ignore that shit. Everyone has things they regret in the past. I think we can leave the discussion there. As long as we agree that our collective survival is more valuable than any petty disputes or disagreements that arise from this, we should be fine. In all due respect, Alora, I think not discussing these is going to lead to more conflict down the line. It might be best to clear up any misconceptions now. Kutsuki, do you, of all people, really wish to have your secrets addressed? Well... Yes, actually, Shinku, I think we've all got a few questions for you. It's really complicated. I don't think I can even start to explain. It's not like I meant to. I meant to or not, you still did it. Hey, I hate to play devil's advocate here, but remember, these secrets are intentionally phrased in a way to make them sound as bad as possible. Takiko's Day 3-1 made it sound like she killed her mom. It was just that her ma died giving birth to her. And that kidnapping one makes me sound way, way, way more malicious than I am. This is probably a really sensitive subject for Shinku. I mean, his sister died. Just ganging up on him before he has a chance to explain isn't gonna help him at all. I suppose you're right, but you would be remiss to believe you don't have any right to be a little concerned about this all. I'll explain when I'm ready, I promise. It's all still very fresh. We lost her only about a month before I got taken here. That period of time before the game is all a bit blurry to me. It was horrible. But I didn't mean to. I thought I could finally make things right. I was going into her room to try and talk about it all when I found the note. Dude, it's okay. Don't force yourself. You can talk about it when you're ready to talk about it. You can't seriously be defending him. You can't exactly see anything yourself about having lives on your hands, can you? Well, judging from that last secret, neither can you. And can you forgive me for it? Well, yeah, 'cause you're we all make stupid choices when we're scared or emotional or whatever. I can give you the benefit of the doubt. There's context missing here. People won't just watch others die like that. Not unless you're crazy. And I know for sure you're not crazy. Then you can give the benefit of the doubt for this as well. Shinku can tell his shit when he's ready, but I don't think this is gonna make him an active threat or anything. Zeke, come on. Lai's right. Right now, this stuff isn't important. We're not gonna judge you for yours. You wouldn't judge us for ours. So let's be stronger than this. Ultimately, all these conditions are in place to actively deter us from working together and instigate as much interpersonal conflict as possible. You are more than welcome to hold your own opinion of everyone here and their actions. We are all worthy of life. With various areas of the prison getting restricted and conditions here getting more severe, we could do with as many hands as possible. No matter your reasoning, letting this conflict blind you in the moment and taking drastic action would be foolish. If you let that happen, I'd be forced to take measures I'd really rather not do. You'd really do that? If it could save a life, then yes, I'd do it in a heartbeat. Especially seeing how these secrets drove someone to kill in the past.
Right. If we start getting all stuck on these silly secrets and start treating each other differently because of it, things are bound to go south. Which is stupid, because all this could be sorted out with just trying to understand each other.
Well, I think even you make exceptions to who you choose to be understanding toward.
Plus, once again, this game does everything in its power to make all of us sound as bad as possible, to dehumanize us as much as possible. Like, I hardly deserve to be here one bit, but you wouldn't know that from my crime. They made me sound like a monster.
Well, yeah, I agree with that.
Exactly.
But only because, I don't really think any of us deserve to be in a murder-death game prison. But maybe it's just me. I don't think there's any issue with pointing at how unfair the situation is. But if you keep putting yourself above everyone else here morally, then... I don't know, Asu. I think you're just gonna make the prison more unfair in the process.
Huh?
Listen, I'm saying this because I care about you, man. But you can't keep brushing your own shit under the rug. You're by no means a perfect person.
I know that. But there's a difference between intentionally committing some crime and just breaking a few silly rules to try and make a place where things can be fair for once.
A few silly rules? Girl, you almost ruined all those kids' lives.
They would have been worse off if I just left them in those awful situations. I wanted to give them somewhere they could be happy. They'd finally have a proper family, where they could be free to be themselves.
They weren't ever fully free, were they? You just gave them a world where they could be happy, sure, but it was just as trapping as their own lives. They grew up there. What options would they have when they were grown up and decided maybe they didn't want to spend their whole lives in your circus? That they wanted something different? Come on, maybe you should lay off them. I'm saying this because I care about you, Asu. This isn't meant as an attack or anything. But if you spent so much time just telling yourself the way you're living is the right way— oh, shit, sorry. You'll end up hurting people and becoming the very thing that hurt you as a kid. You'll just be perpetuating it. I'm saying this because I care about you, Asu. This isn't meant as an attack or anything. I don't want that to happen. You don't deserve to have to deal with that. I'd never do that. I could never be like that. You need a reality check here. If you put yourself above all of us and refuse to see any fault in your actions, you're going to end up being resented eventually. Or resenting yourself, or resenting all of us for being so awful in comparison to you. I want you to snap out of this shit, Asu. To see things for how they are. I want you to grow. Because God knows if anyone here is going to grow, it's going to be you. And as your friend, I don't want to lose you or see you go too extreme with it. God, I love Lyra. I won't. I'm just trying to do what's best here. I'm trying to fix things. I'm just not letting anyone get left behind this time. Asu, you're not dumb, so please, just think about it, okay? An awkward silence befell everyone, only broken when Alora cleared her throat. Well, I'm sure we can have more discussions another day. For now, I believe it may be best to put all the energy we have right now into something more productive. Right. Let's just delegate today's tasks and get to it. Buffering? Uh-oh. Oh no. My connection says it's okay. Hold on. OBS says the signal's alright. It's back? Okay. That was strange. I'm just gonna keep going, and I'll keep an eye on my OBS. Some of these things are best discussed in private, after all. Ismini's gaze moved over to me for a moment, apprehension clear in her expression. She didn't hate me before. It was almost certain she hated me now. Right. First and foremost, Cersei, you and I will be attending to the crops in the courtyard again. Oh, wonderful. Farming duty for the 3rd day in a row. Well, if you're so against it, I suppose I could always instead assign you elsewhere. Perhaps you'd like to join Elias for his task. No, it's fine. It's quite alright. Enriching. Farming. Yummy. Oh, so looking forward to it. Yum, yum, yum. I love the dirt and the worms. Maybe it'll give you a taste of the lives your people family drained their fortune from. Zeke, shut up! Sorry, he's pissing me off. Like, yeah, it's not good, but also, you have no right to fucking... Whatever. Elias, that's enough. Any further discussion of the matter will result in punishment. Excuse me. Punishment. I do not want to use the tools I've been granted by this motive, but I will if I have to. Pointless infighting isn't going to be of any help to anyone. I'd much rather you all resent me than be recklessly endangering yourselves to protect your own egos. Jesus, we get it. We get it. I don't think you do, Zeke. I thought Z and Asu were on a power trip. Excuse me. Do not make me regret my decision today. What decision? Given you two have seemed to make progress on resolving your previous dispute, I'm tentatively resolving to have you and Chattel work together to be on washing and cleaning duty today. Putting Zeke on washing again? He got distracted yesterday, yes, but I'm hoping he'll have learned his lesson this time and be more focused. Doesn't really matter to me what I'm doing. I can be on scrubbing, Zeke can be on getting the water running. Can't touch the taps myself, after all. You two can distribute the labor however you'd like, as long as you get it done. Hell yeah, we're gonna get it done. Those stains won't know what's coming. Didn't have that attitude yesterday. And Suntil, Kutsuki, you two will stay here in the canteen and focus on preservation efforts. Suntil had previous experience with jarring, and there's only a few things left to can or pickle, so that'll be your aim for today. If you manage to complete your work quickly enough, I'd like to test how good the flour is for bread. If either of you could attempt to make a loaf, that would be wonderful. I'm really not much of a baker. I can teach you, don't worry. It takes a bit, but that's alright. We've got a lot to talk about after all. I don't know why, but also, despite Asuga's small smile, those words seemed a little ominous. I couldn't help but feel a bit uneasy. Yeah, of course. Now that's all settled, I'll see you all here again in a few hours. Good luck, everyone. I trust you will all stay on task today. All who oppose Suki shall fall. Everyone disbanded from the meeting, leaving just me and Asuka alone in the canteen. Most of the food that could be canned or jarred had been already. Even if it wasn't the most ideal to live off canned goods, it was better than nothing. But it was clear our consumption of food far outweighed our production of it, even with the rationing in place. But more worrying than our food situation, Asuga seemed to be weirdly on edge. So many things preserved. I don't know if half the stuff is even gonna taste good being pickled or jarred like this. It's edible, and I think that's the only thing that'll matter to her. Some things just aren't meant to last forever. They weren't designed for it. Something themes and such. Tell that to her. I think she'd jar humans if she could. Let's not be too unfair on her. I don't think it was very fair to make the decision to end Taka's life without thinking about what he wanted. But I guess we're pretty picky and choosy about who we decide to treat fairly, huh? I felt a lot of tension coming from Asuka. It did put me a little bit on edge, admittedly. Anyway, I think that's the last of the cans. We should move on to seeing what we can do with the flour. Jeez. I can't get my head around these meal plans. There's almost no protein in them. We're gonna feel tired all day. That's weird. She wrote down the ingredients for a cake today and crossed it out. I'm not one to rain on anyone's parade, but I don't know if a cake is the best use of our resources right now. It's not like it's any special kind of day, it's just March 3rd. Asuka seemed to pause, a realization spreading across their face. It would have been Taka's birthday. Asuka? Oh? Uh-huh. Is everything okay? Asuka paused for a moment and looked to the side. Do you think Alora meant it? Meant what? That she was willing to exert force if it meant it would keep us safe. I mean, her threats with Zeke when it came to Lyra's dosages seemed pretty empty. But she still punished you and Zeke for doing your task. For not doing your task. She took away your food. If you ask me, Shinku, feels like she's letting more and more of this get to her head. Wouldn't surprise me if she used those handcuffs, or locked us in the rooms, or just did something drastic soon. You really think so? Don't give me that. I know you talked to her. There was something different about how you looked at her today. Plus, you walked in with her. Not from the direction of the cells or anything, but from the bottom entrance to the canteen. Meaning you two were on the west side of the prison together. What were you guys doing there that early in the morning? You can't have been washing, that room's locked off. We were just in the medicine storage for a bit. She was asking me about some things. I really just think she's been stressed out by everything. I hope she's better than letting us get to her head, or... Hydrate. Or well, even if she does, at least she's got good intentions behind it. She clearly wants to keep us all alive. She wants us to be safe. But her idea of safe is restricted. Who is she to decide that her way's the best way? She said she'd keep all our input in mind, but at the end of the day, she's making all decisions by herself. Nothing we say does anything. She's just deciding what's best for us. Just like she did for... But you're doing the exact same thing, Asuga. I'm not. You... Oh, sorry. You are. You're just assuming Allura is out to get us. You're positioning yourself as someone who inevitably knows what's better for us. You're trying to decide for all of us what we should think about Allura, and you're ostracizing anyone who doesn't agree with you. Why shouldn't you be apprehensive about her? You've seen what she's done. If her past decisions involve deciding someone, deciding Taco is better off dead, then how are we meant to believe her idea of keeping us all safe is really going to keep us alive? Because it's clear she regrets what she did to Taka. She wants to move past it. If she regretted it so much, she'd remove the stupid thing from her ear that she chose over him in the first place. But in the end, being comfortable is more important to her than actually taking accountability. You're the same, you know? You'd rather have the comfort of the familiar, of just following what she wants instead of stepping up and making those decisions for yourself. No wonder you're so quick to side with her over me. I was the one who spoke out for you with your truths. I told people to be reasonable and patient with you. I'm trying to help you here, Shinku. I don't know why you're taking her side constantly. I'm not taking sides here. I'm just trying to... I don't care what you're trying to do. I just don't want you stopping us if... Or no. When we do need to act against her. If you hesitate for so long, if you stay on the fence, you're just gonna get someone seriously hurt or killed again. Is that what you want? You let them down over and over and over again. This is your one chance to get it right this time. If you hesitate, if you ignore the warning signs, you're not vigilant. If you just follow your biases again, then I'll never forgive you. Even if you step in and try and make things right when it's too late, try to rectify things however you can, I won't forgive you. 'Cause it'll be your fault things got bad in the first place. It'll be all your fault. Asuga, I don't think this is about... Asuka just looked at me for a moment, staring intensely before looking away. Projection. Let's just make this stupid dough. Yeah. It's just flour and water, right? And some yeast, and that's basically the gist of it. Shame we don't have more flour. You guys had a lot of wheat. Is this really all the flour that came out of it? Yeah. It's a little crazy how little you get out of it compared to how big it starts out. Asuka measured out the flour and grabbed a jug to measure out the water, the two of us working in relative silence. Got the impression Asuka had something else they wanted to say, but just trying to find the right moment. I hated the feeling of anxious anticipation that filled the air as they began to knead the dough. But when they finally opened their mouth again, I wanted nothing more than to crawl back into the anxiousness of uncertainty of the seconds prior. I'm sorry about your sister. I don't know what the circumstances were, what you did, or how much your actions were twisted on the truth. But I hope, if nothing else, you were able to learn from it. Feels wrong getting to grow and move and change while she's now stuck in time forever. I get that. It's different, but I used to feel very guilty about leaving my brother behind. I should have done more to get him out of that situation as well. I should have come back to get him. I thought I had no right to complain about how he treated me after I left him behind. Deep down, I think I always hated how he treated me. I don't think I ever forgave him for it. I'd spent years having to just suck it up and be the bigger person. Whenever he did something cruel or mean, just because I was a year older, I had to act like nothing was wrong. And I made my new world. When I made somewhere I could finally be happy. Or I could have the family I thought I'd always wanted. I guess I was scared that if I went back to get him, he'd mess it up. Or he'd hate me so much he wouldn't want to come with me. couldn't stand the idea of someone thinking they were better off staying in that sort of situation than staying at my circus. I had to have created something better. And I didn't want to risk that rejection. So I told myself to just move past it. Move past him and do things better in the future. And did it get rid of the feeling? Did you ever stop feeling guilty? I'd like to think I did. But in the end, I just ended up feeling more guilty that I was able to be living so well compared to him. I felt selfish. Life moves on, so you've got to move with it. New people will depend on you and need you, and you have to be sure not to let them down. But if you go forward without looking back at all, you'll just be repeating the same mistakes, won't you? You're one to talk about that. And so are you. Good convo, good convo. We finished off the dough and left it to prove. In the time we had left before we all reconvened, we helped prepare the small rationed lunch Alora planned for us to have today. The bread wasn't going to be ready to bake for a while, but I was sure we could have it at dinner. I was a little concerned with how much energy Asuka had to knead it. Felt like I did very little work in the grand scheme of things. But it felt like everyone was a little apprehensive to challenge Asuka these days. Especially with how snippy and short-tempered the lack of food was making everyone. Alright, I think that is then a good spot to quickly take our break. You all know the drill. Get a snack, get a drink of water, go to the bathroom, do whatever y'all need to do. And we'll be right back in just a few minutes. Alright, welcome back. I hope everyone had a pleasant break. Onward and upward. Or I guess maybe downward if someone's about to die, but you get the point. Good work today. As far as I'm aware, everyone stayed on track and didn't stray from their tasks. Let's keep this sort of work ethic and cooperation going for the foreseeable future. I'd really rather not use force or exert my warden privileges unless completely and entirely necessary. Dude, you're the one who keeps bringing it up to get us to stay in line. Considering the rising tension among the group, I view it as necessary to keep order. Yeah, whatever you tell yourself is necessary. Either way, those stains didn't stand a chance against me and La. You scrub that shit faster than the government doing a cover-up. That's crazy. Clean the whole showers too, so we're basically the most productive people in the prison. No need to thank us. Oh, hold on, my tracking stalled. Uh-oh. VTube Studio. The camera's fine, it's VTube. Oh, okay, never mind, we're so back. Isn't there a janitor that's meant to do that? Well, all the cleaning supplies were hardly touched, so who knows what the fuck he's doing. Sorry, I'm trying to move my thingy. Okay. Probably just complaining that no one wants to sleep with him, knowing what he's like. Whoa, hello. You really didn't have to join us for lunch. Don't mention it. Sorry, that was a Zeke voice. Don't mention it. I like to keep in touch with my prisoners. No, really. We don't particularly want you here. Either way, I'm starving. Aw, Sue, did you finish that bread yet? Still gonna take a bit to prove, but it'll be ready for dinner. We managed to get everything else jarred, though. Excellent. And me and Cersei tended to the crops. They seem to be doing well. I'm hoping we'll have something to harvest by the time we've eaten through our remaining supplies. Don't know what we'll do if we don't. Eat someone, cannibalize Foo, donor party. You know, frogs are a delicacy in France. I'd start breeding them if I was you, bowhead. We're not eating the frogs. No way. Wouldn't be the worst thing you've done by any means, would it? Okay, it's actually not a terrible idea to start breeding the frogs, but... I mean, even putting your main crime aside, kidnapping isn't exactly the most moral thing to do, no matter how you frame it. That's enough. I believe it's best for everyone here that we don't discuss the truths unless absolutely necessary. Let's try to end this meeting on a high note. I believe everyone has earned some time to themselves. Take it easy this afternoon, and we can reconvene once more after dinner. I will, however, be on patrol in case someone has a lapse in judgment and believes that starting pointless conflict over the truths in any way productive at this current time. I really don't think that will be necessary, Elora. I'm not willing to take any risks at this stage, especially with pre-existing tensions between some of you. Hate to agree with her, but all it takes at this stage is to one hear the other breathing for shit to start between Zeke and Ease. Not my fault she keeps saying stupid shit. It's a wonder someone hasn't gotten sick of her shit already and killed her. Oh, please. Ezekiel hasn't had the guts to kill me by now. He's not going to. Doesn't matter what I have to say about his... Well, let's just be polite and say history of attachment issues. Want to test that diamond mines? Well, at least that's out of my control. As far as I'm concerned, feeling that way about matching horrific injuries is all on you. Shut the hell up. You're the one to speak on attachment issues considering all that shit with your fiancé and your weird fucking nymph fantasies. Sick perv. Well, forgive me that mine aren't as biblical as yours, but considering the subject matter, they're rather far from holy, are they not? The hell are you implying? I think your preferences are more than clear, Elias. Well, isn't that a fine example of textbook projection, huh? You're one to talk, you... I have half a mind that believed being sent to an all-boys boarding school was the best thing that ever happened to you. Before Ismini could speak further, Ezekiel practically launched at her, grabbing her hair and tugging her toward him. Ow! Hey! You bitch! You want to see what happens if you keep running your mouth? Think you could tell me something I don't already know? Zeke, stop! This is what they want, come on! I don't give a shit at this stage if someone as pathetic as me dies, and I'll take you with me if I have to. I've got the guts for it. Don't test me. Zeke, what the fuck are you doing? Get off her! You're better than this shit. Make me. I'm no better than anyone here. And if this doesn't prove it, I don't know what will. Is this shitty enough for you? Huh? Get off me at once. Christ, I'm sorry. What's gotten into you? Make me. Fight back. Why the hell aren't you doing anything, Isabel? Slap me. Come on. Choke me. God damn it, why are you only being the bigger person now? Do something! What on earth are you on about? Ezekiel, back off. I'm sorry, alright? For goodness sake. Both of us deserve to go. Come on. Let's show them just the kind of fucked up excuses for people that are benefiting from this shit-ass system. Show them just how screwed up we are. Don't act like you're fucking reasonable now of all times. Don't piss me off. You're not allowed to be. Neither of us are. Not after everything. If I can't grow, neither can you. Oh, now that's a sorry excuse if I've ever heard one. Ezekiel, let's not be ridiculous here. We're both bad people, but that's no reason we cannot change. If the whole system's rotten to the core, the only way to change it is removing every rusty fucking cog. Starting with us. Zeke moved his hand to take further action against Ismini, but before he could, Alora quickly grabbed his arm and shoved the handcuffs on him. Ugh! Elias, that is more than enough. Do not make me sedate you. Oh, now the veil's off, huh? Happy to be all controlling as long as you're not the worst here, huh? I knew it! You're speaking nonsense. I'm going to detain you in your cell for a few hours until dinner. Until you calm down. Calm down? Did you hear the shit she was saying? Did you see how you were acting? What you were saying? You're really only working to prove my point here. It's safer to keep on the lookout and save any potential discussions about the truths for regulated group meetings where everyone is present. Is that reasonable? No one stepped up to say no, but no one seemed particularly happy about this either. There was an uneasy feeling among the group, but we were mostly shocked about Ezekiel's outburst. Good. I'll see you all at dinner. Elias, you're coming with me. We all slowly made our way out of the canteen under the watchful eye of Alora. There was a certain distance about her now I couldn't quite describe. Either way, it was best to keep myself busy to distract from the hunger. I didn't want to particularly dwell on the current situation. I was concerned for Alora, but I wasn't sure how much she was willing to hear from me at this stage. And I was similarly concerned with Ismini. Even if we weren't talking, I was worried that she'd gotten hurt. But despite her continuing her usual pettiness with Ezekiel, I was a little surprised at how resilient she was staying. It really made me wonder how she'd been doing. I knew I couldn't know for sure, but I hoped she was doing well. I mean, Zeke deserved that, I can't even lie. What on earth are you doing here, Chatelle? What? The girl's not allowed to read now? Wow. That's not what I'm saying. Ugh, never mind. You, feeling better from earlier? Yes. It was a bit of a shock, admittedly, but I think I perhaps crossed a few lines myself. I think the hunger is starting to get to me. I'm sure it's gotten to him, too, so I'll try not to hold it against him. It's not an ideal situation for anyone here. I really should stop throwing stones in glass houses. I hope Ezekiel has calmed down himself. I should not have provoked him as I did. He clearly isn't well. I think we all should. A lot of us are a lot more similar than we realize, if you ask me. It's horrible to admit, but perhaps that's why he gets under my skin so much. He does remind me terribly of some of the worst parts of me. But I think he's wrong. It's not like we can't change, can we? I think he's worried he doesn't have the patience for it. Regardless, it's in the past now. I believe we both have bigger things to worry about. If you say so. Hey, what's that you were reading? Is that... Dude, why are you of all people reading an anti-ultimate book? I suppose I just wanted to see another perspective. There's some pretty good arguments in them, but, you know, not much point. The whole thing is to make people see those involved in the movement as less human than they already did. Why did you do it? Huh? Take your talent. I mean, like, it sounds selfish, but it's just easiest. I was tired at that point. I wanted something good. Maybe if I was stronger, perfect, a better human would have stayed true to what I believed and would have just rejected it and stood strong, but life isn't really like that in the end. No, I think you were perfectly human. Listen, I cannot begin to know what you've been through, how you've suffered. My life has been entirely different, but your truths are an indication of anything. All I can say for certain is I don't think you deserved a life like that. I believe, all things considered, you did the best you could. Seeing everything you went through, everything I've struggled with seems pretty silly in comparison. Nah, you struggled with it, if it impacted you, I think it's still pretty damn important. It's weird, really, 'cause those things in my truths, I never really thought about them too hard. For me, that was just life, not something I struggled too much with in the moment. Like, I know they should have impacted me a lot, but it's like, it was just how it was. No one seemed to care that much, so I thought I shouldn't either. No one was concerned? That's impossible. When I got pregnant, it was just like, I don't know, mildly inconvenient for the guy I was with. I told him, and it wasn't really like a choice or anything. He just presumed I'd get an abortion. Just like, yeah, I was going to, don't get me wrong. But to him, it was like getting a tooth removed or getting a haircut. He just told me to go to the clinic. I did, and when I got home afterwards, we just didn't talk about it. Felt crazy at the time, because he just seemed to completely forget about it. Life continued on for him, but even if I was never intending on having that kid, I still felt emotional and shit over it all. To me, it was a big deal. I sort of hoped it'd be a wake-up call. That he'd be more careful, or I don't know, be nicer to me or some shit. I wanted him to tell me I was being careless and irresponsible, or just, I don't know. I feel like I was right in any way to feel emotional about it all. Like I wasn't being stupid or overreacting. But none of that happened. Christ. I know, right? Guess that's why, when he was overdosing, part of it was like, yeah, shit, I don't want to get arrested. But also, I don't know. I guess it felt a little vindicating to feel as apathetic as I did. Oh my god, that's crazy. That makes me sound insane, doesn't it? Maybe I'm insane too, but it sounds shockingly reasonable to me. Hey, come on, you don't gotta lie to me. Well, at least I can see where you're coming from, if nothing else. I guess, in the moment, none of my struggles really felt like them. It was just how I was living. It's only really now I can look back at them and think, wow, that was kinda messed up, huh? Kinda? Okay, maybe a little more than kinda. It's just sorta hard to grapple with. That's how I lived for so long. For what it's worth, Lyra, I am sorry. I should not have treated you in the way I did, believing I knew what was best for you, that you were just blind to it all. Even if I did, I realize now that forcing you to change wouldn't have done you much good at all. Strength has to come from within. I forgive you. It's alright. You're not the first, and you won't be the last, I'm sure. I want to do better. Living in such ignorance will only keep me pushing away others. Nothing will change if I don't. If I stay like this, I'll just become the sort of person who pushes down others just to feel better about themselves. I'll be just like my professor. I couldn't bear to live with myself if I was like that. And I want you to have better than that, if nothing else. You deserve it, after everything you've been through. And I hope you find that strength yourself. I know you will. You're the type who doesn't stop until something goes your way. For better or worse. Dude, I love Lyra so much. She deserves to have a happy ending, and I really, 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 really hope she does. I'm gonna actually crash out so hard if she doesn't make it. Because I feel like, I don't know, I don't want to say like, oh, she deserves to live the most, but like, I think out of everyone here, I want her to be happy the most. I hope you find it too. Whatever it is for you. After a while of hunkering down in my room, I started to get restless. I knew the group meeting tonight would be stressful. That was something else I didn't really want to think about too hard about currently. Yeah, free time for fun. Alright, let's check the canteen. Ooh, okay. Not canteen. Lounge? Lounge. Let's save, just in case I fuck up. But we might have a CG event. Is there someone here? Ah, Alora. How's your patrol going? Fine. Everyone seems to be having some alone time, and Ezekiel stopped battering on his door, so I'm taking a second to rest. I just hope they won't take advantage of this brief period to make any further foolish decisions. You and me both. I'm sure everyone will be fine if you leave them to your own devices for an hour or two. Best to be safe than sorry. I think you'll be the one who'll end up sorry if you keep pushing yourself like this. All you're doing is further isolating yourself. No wonder you couldn't get rid of that earpiece. It's the only thing you have right now that you feel you can talk to. And if I wished to talk to anyone else, I hardly think the feeling would be mutual. We already did all her free time events though, so if this is just like a regular FTE, then... Well, even if the others hate me, I won't be entirely lonely. If that happens, we can just be isolated together. You really do have your moments, Kutsuki. For what it's worth, even if you did break my trust a little, I still appreciate you greatly. Thank you for being so patient with me. It's the least I can do, really. It's more than I deserve after everything. But if you were genuine about wanting to spend some time together, if you'd like... please do excuse me if this is presumptuous, but... perhaps we could hold a small funeral service together? For both our sisters? Huh? I assumed you hadn't exactly been given enough sufficient time to make peace with it. Quite frankly, when I heard my sister died, I didn't really feel like I had the time to react or really process it. At the time, there was work to be done. I just had to continue with my life. But it might be good to finally sit down and at least mourn her. My condolences. I didn't know your sister had also passed. My condolences to you as well, Kutsuki. Especially with how fresh it is. I thought you'd perhaps appreciate a judgment-free space to discuss your feelings about it. I really, truly am not in any position to judge you myself, after all. sounds a little heavy. Well, the offer is open. If you're interested, come meet me in the Faith Room later. I'll have a think about it. Thank you, Alora. Stay safe, Shinku. Alright, let's go see Amelia. What the hell do you want? You know, even if some of you majorly piss me off, I do still like excuse me. I do still like watching you. Thanks? It sounds stupid as hell, but when Takiko was alive, she and Asuka used to have these sleepovers constantly. I liked watching those. Sometimes I'd... Ugh, never mind. I won't judge. This doesn't leave the room. Got it? Oh, right, of course. I'd watch them to feel like I was there with them. I always thought they looked fun. It was nice being in the anti-ultimate movement and finally having friends my age, but we were pretty dedicated to the cause and, well, everything. I never really got a chance to be a typical teenage girl and do all that girly sleepover crap. So, it was nice to feel like I was part of it for a bit, even if I wasn't. That's actually kind of... Say sweet one more time and you'll get a sweet, sweet knuckle sandwich to the face. Who says knuckle sandwich anymore? My bad, forgot you were more of a feet guy. Excuse me? Oh, well, you know, with all the bootlicking you do. You can insult me all you like, it's not going to make me leave. I really do hate you. Just make sure the sleepover thing doesn't leave this room. I'm serious about that. It's already hard enough reminding myself I wasn't there. Sometimes I end up slipping up and feeling way closer to Asuka than I actually am. They have no idea about any of it. Maybe I idolize Asuka a little too much. I know they kind of suck, but I sort of wish I was plucked out of that hospital and taken into their little world. I think I would have liked that. Anything would have been better than what I grew up in. Well, whatever. It was a pretty stupid thing to do. I know that. But at least I'm not doing it anymore. If you thought it was stupid in the first place, why'd you do it? I've been almost completely isolated since I got here. It was nice for a little bit to feel a little less alone. You know, if you do want to talk, I am here. Do you seriously think, out of everyone here, I'm gonna talk to her brother? I don't understand what the hell you think you're gonna get out of continuing to talk to me. I guess we'll see. Well, that's nice. I guess let's go have a funeral. I'm sure this will be... Oops. I'm sure this will be happy, fun times, and not devastating and sad at all. I was a little apprehensive about accepting Alora's offer and holding the funeral service with her. Partly because I was a bit worried about what others would think if I spent too much time with her. And partly because, even now, I really wanted to do everything I possibly could to avoid thinking about what happened to Akari. It felt strange I'd never see her again. Maybe that's why I tried to hide away from every reminder of it. Just wanted things to be normal. I wanted the simplicity of my life before everything happened. But life doesn't work like that, and I knew I'd have to face it eventually. So I sat quietly in the faith room, waiting for Alora to arrive. I closed my eyes and melted into the soft serenity of the cool room, drifting into my own thoughts. Only stepping back into focus when I heard a voice behind me. You came. She seemed oddly surprised. Of course. I thought it could be good for both of us. I see. Alora quietly approached me and sat down next to me. The two of us sat in silence, retrospecting side by side as we looked at the altar in front of us. I was not religious by any means, but perhaps I felt I needed to repent somehow. But I had no idea what she was feeling as she stared alongside me. Eventually, our quiet contemplation was broken by her opening her mouth to speak.
You know, it's a little funny. I've never been good at loss, even when I knew it was coming, but with Esther, with my sister, it didn't even really feel like I lost anything. I know it sounds terrible, but it always felt like an inevitability. When my parents informed me she was gone, I didn't even really question what they meant. They didn't make a big fuss about it, so I thought if I did, then I'd be being ridiculous. I thought moving on and not letting those things bother you was just part of being an adult. Perhaps that's why I was so ashamed that in every other instance where I did lose someone that I couldn't deal with it. Sensible adults were meant to deal with it well. So I did, at least in public. I was so ashamed of how I felt, I decided to cope in any way I could, really. Anything to keep me moving.
Guess it's easier just to pretend nothing has changed at all. It's very easy to want to stay in the past. I think I never realized just how bad things had gotten between me and Akari because I was so focused on the past. I used to practically be her hero. I just assumed no matter what phase she was going through, she could never hate me. And my parents just assumed when she was having a meltdown or something, it was just her being difficult. It was always something with Akari. So after a while, I just started tuning it out a bit. It became an everyday thing. I guess I just kind of thought my parents were right about her, and somewhere along the line I became complicit in it.
That's understandable. You're meant to listen to your parents, after all. They're meant to guide you through life. Was she a bit of a troublemaker?
That's an understatement. She never really did all that well in school. I never really clicked with her. She never found anything that she thought was worth devoting all her time to. If she wasn't good at something instantly, she gave up on it pretty instantly. And because of that, she got involved with some pretty bad kids her age, and that spiraled into her getting involved with the anti-ultimate movement. And it's kind of hard to really parrot anything that movement was saying when you're actively benefiting from it. I think she started to resent herself and all of us, and that caused a lot of fights.
Esther was a bit like that, always causing issues. Presumably for attention.
Huh. You know, I just had a thought. I'm like, maybe this is like a crazy thought, right? Definitely a crazy thought. Lyra Chattel is not her real name. And she got ostracized from her family because she would always bully and torment her sibling. And Alora and Lyra both have, like, the same eye color. I feel like I'm absolutely, like, crackpot theorying. This is gonna be like in Danganronpa Another, when I was so convinced that this character was a robot, or these two characters were siblings, but... I don't know. I feel like the guy with the string board. Like the conspiracy theory meme. Or like that one meme, it's like, I've connected the dots. You didn't connect shit. I'm connecting them. No, this is a big theory in the fan. I mean, I don't know. I think there's some credibility to it, but I'm also only right like maybe 50% of the time, so. Anyway.
I wouldn't know. I didn't give her much. But even so, she had all the resources to become just like me. If she just had the drive, she'd have been able to reach a similar level of achievement to me. She could have had my life if she so wished. But she didn't want it. That always confused me. Assuredly, my life was meant to be close to perfect. Many people would do anything to be in my position. And yet she rejected that. In her eyes, even dying was more freeing and ideal than what would conventionally be considered good. Even if I can hardly recall what she was like, even when my only clear memory of her is of a scruffy, white-haired child, covered in dirt, digging out silkworms from their enclosures and trying to bring them to show me. While thoughts of what she was like before it all happened never really crossed my mind, I can never stop thinking about that decision she made. That, despite how much freedom she was given, she somehow believed running was more liberating, that dying was more freeing. I wonder a lot if she finally found happiness through that, or if she regretted it. Either way, I admit I occasionally find myself slightly jealous of her.
How so?
Jealous of the fact she was able to make such a definitive decision for herself.
It would be incredible, though, if my two favorite characters in this series are twin sisters.
That despite everything, she made that decision entirely of her own volition, and had the drive to go through with it. No matter how it turned out, I will always admire and be slightly envious of that. My whole life, I've simply done what I was told because it was best. I thought if I saw how things ended for her, I'd know for certain that staying on the straight and narrow was indeed for the best. Then I'd have my beliefs confirmed, but all I've really been able to glean from it, thinking back through my decisions from the last few weeks, is that I don't think there really is a solid universal best. Different things work for different people. What might be for the best for one person is detrimental to another. I remember when she'd bring those silkworms to me. I was a little put off. I thought she ought not to interfere with what they were meant for in the lab. But she'd argue that domesticated silkworms, when they turn into moths, can never really fly. That they'd be stuck forever. So she'd let them free to give them a chance to fly.
But if they'd lived their whole life in captivity until that point, it's unlikely they'd survive out in the wild long enough to turn into moths. She knew that.
But to her, that small chance that they would be able to fly, at the risk of everything else, at the risk of certain death, was worth it. It was better than a safe existence of being stuck.
Something something themes, something something symbolism.
You two sound quite different.
Don't be mistaken. I'm happy with how my life ended up. I try not to dwell on what her life was like too much. At the end of the day, the only thing I really do not have a satisfying answer to is if she or I ended up happier.
It seems like a pretty simple question to me. I mean, you got everything you ever could have wanted.
Right. So it's curious I cannot seem to land on an answer to it, isn't it?
I wondered a lot about that too. To me, my life was ideal. But to Akari, life was unbearable. I couldn't understand why she was so miserable, why she didn't just try harder to be good, to focus on school. But I suppose it never crossed my mind if she was happier like that. I just assumed she was running away from happiness because it was too much effort. Either way, I'm sorry for your loss.
I'm sorry for yours, Kutsuki.
I don't think I'm the one who deserves a sorry in this situation. I just wish I had said it before it was too late.
Alora paused, doing something very strange and moving her hand to mine, quietly interlacing her fingers between mine, squeezing it.
I think we all have things we wish we'd have said while we still had the chance.
My favorite platonic duo. Okay, I don't know if they're my favorite duo, but they're up there.
Though, you really should stop being so kind to me, Kutsuki. Everyone who attaches to me seems to die.
Funny that. Same here. Maybe we're both bad luck charms.
I suppose you're spending so much time with me in hopes of doubling your chances. Well, if that's the case, I won't allow it. I won't let anyone have to mourn you.
That's not it.
Then what is it?
I suppose I just didn't want you to feel alone.
Is there really any way to stop such a feeling?
There's only one way to find out, isn't there?
Two of us sat in silence for a little longer, occasionally exchanging a few words or thoughts. But admittedly, I wasn't quite as open as I felt I should be. Maybe I was still trying to run from what I'd done. But on the other hand, as much as I wanted to be there for Laura, I couldn't let myself say too much. After all, it was not just a conversation between the two of us. As long as she had that earpiece in, there would be others who'd be listening. I just hoped she'd take it out soon and instead focus on the people she did have left, instead of focusing on what she'd lost. But maybe that was being too optimistic. She was a domesticated silk moth, after all, raised and pruned in a glass enclosure all of her life. It would take a miracle for her to be able to fly. Or maybe that's what we told ourselves, to give us an excuse not to try. Maybe we were just too scared of falling a few times in our attempts. Maybe we were the ones who were running. Good lord. In a good way. In a good way. But good lord. Okay. Hey. La? What are you doing here? Alora unlocked your cell. He thought it was best I let you know. Let me undo your handcuffs. Hold on. How you doing? Oh, Lyra POV? Yes! I am so here for this. Almost immediately after I uncuffed him, he wrapped his arms around me and hugged me. His whole body was shaking. Hey, it's alright. You're getting out there. I hate her. I hate her so much. Locking me in here like that stupid hell school. Well, hey, you're getting out now, and that's what counts. Just gotta make sure you don't get locked up again, alright? Asu needs someone to be their nurse, you know? Not much of a doctor without you. I think you two would be fine without me. Don't say shit like that. It's true. My whole life's been fucking pointless. All I've done is make this shithole a worse place, and no one sees any kind of issue with it. If there is a god, he's the best fucking comedian out there. Because the biggest joke of all is, despite all reason, I'm somehow not dead yet. All this is only gonna end when people like me are dead. Just throwing away your life isn't gonna fix anything. That's stupid. You know that. I'm just a coward, La. I don't want to live in a world like this. Especially when I can't do shit to fix it. I can only make it worse. You only get rest in this shithole if you push others down. And even then, it doesn't feel good. Just feels a bit better, I guess. Yeah, this world kind of sucks, huh? But, you know, if it didn't suck, we wouldn't have anything to make fun of and laugh about and share with others at the end of the day. Sure, the world can be shitty, but no matter how bad it gets, you can always end it on a high note. As long as you've got people or things in your life that you love, it's never really seem all that bad. I don't think I've really ever had anyone like that. At least, no one who stuck around. What? Are me and Asu roaches or something? Huh? No, what? Exactly. You've got us. So, you can be all nihilistic and shit and think there's no way you can grow or change or whatever. Or, you can pack your shit up, At least try to do better and go watch a drive-in movie with me and Asu. Maybe get some shitty pancakes with us as we walk home from the club drunk as shit. Hell, we could even just fuck around while sober. Playground hopping in the dead of night or some shit. Sounds stupid. Lyra, stop talking about things you'll do after the killing game. It never ends well for any party. Boo! Sounds fun to me. You're just a buzzkill. Guess I'd like it. I'd like that sort of life. I'm scared of having all that and losing it. That'd make things worse than it was before. Become someone who won't lose it. Someone people won't leave. Someone better. I know you can. I've seen the best and the worst of you. And behind all your bullshit, I think there's a lot of good. Someone who deserves to make the best of a shitty world like this. And I'm not the only one who's seen that. I'm just not as good at getting the good parts of you to come out as he was. He really brought out the best in you. And I think if I let him, he would have brought out the best in me, too. But at the end of the day, when someone as screwed up as me can take those steps myself. Try and be a bit better, bit by bit. Even if I'm just taking steps into a wasteland. Because at least I've got people with me. And you don't want to lose out to the stupid blue thing you hate in that department, do you? So come on, let's get out of here. It's dinner time. I'm not hungry. Bitch, am I gonna have to choo-choo train the food into your mouth? What? No, I'm not a 5-year-old. Jesus. You got the diet of one and the narrow-minded, edgy worldview of a 12-year-old. Can you blame me for getting confused? Oh, shut up. You coming with? Yeah. Yeah, I think I will. Good. Because we're gonna need someone to pay for those drunk pancakes, and it's not gonna be me. You're such a cheapskate. Jesus. Oh, shut up. You know you love me. Something like that. Yeah. I guess I do. Guess that's the scariest part of it all, huh? Take a sip of my water. God, I'm not ready, man. Okay. The evening came upon us before we knew it, bringing out a tension-filled dinner with fairly mediocre bread. I'm sure Asuga was a good cook. I just wasn't sure our flour was exactly up to scratch. Ezekiel was released and joined us. A lot more apprehensive than before. Him and Ismini exchanged quiet apologies, but there was still clear tension between them. But, long after Alora had watched us settle into our cells, making sure we were all in the correct ones for the night, we all snuck out one by one. And I, too, even as I slightly dreaded it, made my way to Amelia's office for another one of our meetings. Goodness, I thought you were all a little paranoid before, but she's steadily getting a bit more extreme, isn't she? Exactly. We can't let her we can't keep letting her get away with this. She can't keep getting away with this. If we let these little things slip, it's only a matter of time before she moves on to bigger stuff. I don't care that she said the threat was empty. In fact, she even talked about holding Lai's dose back until we complied. My water bottle. Proves she's been thinking about it. And that's fucked up enough for me. Not to mention she detained me. Zeke, you deserve that shit. I'm sorry. Well, that was a little deserved, wasn't it? I guess, but still. See, even Zeke of all people is like, okay, well, that wasn't not deserved, but I don't think it was great he did it. Real uncalled for. I think both of you would have been more reasonable if you weren't half starved. I can agree there. I apologize for my part in it. Same. I really fucking hate what she's doing right now. This sort of discussion again. We can't just keep going in circles about this again. Once again, I really think she's just trying to help here. I think we really need to trust the process. If we take some of the pressure off of her back, I'm sure she'll get less strict. Just checking some. At the end of the day, she just wants to keep us all alive. That's exactly the sort of attitude that made you perfect to be an ultimate in the first place. What do you mean? Not asking too many questions, not thinking too hard about things, just letting the people above you do their thing and acting to their every whim as long as it keeps you in the position you're in now. But I mean, I guess as long as you didn't conform with the shocks way back then, so I guess that's something. I hardly see how that's relevant to this. The little ways you all treat these things end up blowing up on a larger scale until it hurts people. If you let this slip now, you'll just keep getting people hurt on a larger scale. Well, yeah. What do you expect when you give so much power to the people who don't have their frontal lobes fully developed yet? Of course they're gonna fuck things up. Why are you defending them here? Whatever Hope's Peak is slipping you can't be that good. That's also not the voice. Even if I don't exactly like your fence hopping ass, I thought at least being in a situation like this would wake you up and pull you off Hope's Peak's dick. I'm not defending them, trust me. It's more complicated. You can acknowledge that ultimates are shitty people, and also see we were all taken advantage of by the system in the first place. The situation with Hope's Peak doesn't matter. Right now, what matters is what's going on here. What's going on in the prisons. If Alora is right about anything, it's that we need to put our grudges and conflicts aside and work together here. All of us. Otherwise, she'll take advantage of that divide to keep us compliant. I really think you're looking too much into everything you're doing. Keep people tired, then they're less likely to be at each other's throats. It's probably her way of subduing us. Are we lagging again? I hope not. I don't know. OBS says my frame rate is stable, but I'll keep an eye on it. OBS says it's okay now, so I'm gonna keep going, but I will, I'll keep an eye on it. It might just be dipping for, a few seconds here and there, I suppose. Apologies. Hunger is one of the easiest things to weaponize, yeah. And if we let her get away with that, then soon enough the rations will get worse and worse. Try to get away with more and more. And that's a risk I'm not willing to take at this stage. I care about all of you too much. I can't let anyone down. It's easy enough for her to subtly divide us at this stage through assigning us work or preventing conversations about the truths, but how long till she gets to the stage of consistently physically detaining us? Physically separating us? She's already at the stage of threatening it, even after saying she wouldn't. How long until those threats stop being empty? We need to act, and soon. We can do it together. What, are we gonna jump Alora? If we show her how united we can be, how she has no power against us, how easily we can undermine her, then we can basically circumvent the whole motive. I don't know about that. I feel like if you, openly defy Alora, she's going to take that as, oh, they're acting against me. In order to keep them safe, I must further exert my power, otherwise they're going to do something reckless because I don't have control over them. And so I need to exert my control, even if they hate me, to keep them alive so they can't act on their own, because if they act on their own, they're going to kill each other. I kind of think would be Alora's mindset, so I really don't think this is a good idea. Are we sure? I feel like aggravating her is just asking for her to make true on her threats. I certainly don't want that. I'm sure she doesn't either. If she acts on those threats just from a bit of resistance, then it proves why we need to start challenging her authority. Or make it to the point where we're not so hungry we're constantly getting into fights like earlier. We can make it better ourselves, I know. We're compliant until we've already let way too much slip through the cracks. And we'll get too comfortable. We'll get too used to it. We'll be so hungry and tired we won't even have the energy to resist. But, Asu, you're doing the exact same thing she's doing. You're forcing us to pick a side here and listen to what you want to do. Follow your authority. She's gonna be like, no, but I'm different. If anyone says anything against you or positive about Alora, you're the first to get on our cases. And I know you're not that unreasonable usually. Come on. He's kinda right. You've been acting a little off lately, Asu. I said it earlier, but it's a bit concerning. Acting a bit off? I'm just trying to make sure no one else gets hurt here. I can help us, please. You've gotta believe me. I can keep us all alive and safe. We can run the prison between us. We can circumvent Alora's authority, I'm sure of it. All the other motives had stupid loopholes. We can find the one here. I'm not trying to be controlling or anything. I just know what's best here. I don't want to see anyone else get hurt. See, it's the parallels between Asuka and Alora. They're so similar, but I'm trying to help here. Come on. I'm sure Alora thinks she's helping too. You both want the same thing, but going against her when she's trying to help is going to put all of us in more danger. Stop comparing me to her. We're nothing like each other. Stares into camera. Okay. I just feel like you're demonizing her here to your own detriment, Asuka. You keep saying this. You keep defending her. But of everyone here, I think I've got more than enough right not to trust her. Do you have any idea how it feels to have one other person in the world who you could even start to connect with over Taka's death, and have it be the very person who killed him? Someone who killed him for such a stupid, stupid reason. Someone who's being rewarded for the decision she made. But if you can sympathize with Takiko, understand why she did what she did, I'm sure you can give her a little grace. Don't act like you ever sympathized with Takiko till it was too late. You hated her because of what she did to Molly, right? Can't you see how it's the same with me and Alora? Alright, fine. You win there. I understand your point. But even if you can't sympathize with Alora, or try to see things from her perspective here, at least take a moment to reflect on yourself, Asuka. Please. I'm not trying to do anything bad here. I'm sure you weren't trying with your circus either, but you're repeating the exact same behaviors. So what if I am? They worked before. They made somewhere safe, somewhere perfect. I can do the same here too. But it's... Asu, please, it's more complicated than that and you know it. Even if your intentions were good, it's undeniable your actions were a little questionable. Well, that's kind of putting it lightly. Better than some of the shit the rest of you did. Exactly. I mean, yeah, it's bad. I accept that. But I'm not even meant to be here. Oh, you silly thing. Don't get on your high horse about your verdict. Okay, now I think you're the last person who gets to say that. Well, second to me, maybe. It's a slippery slope and a fool's errand, but so much value in the validation of strangers. Doing so will only lead to repeating behaviors you'll regret later. Don't be stubborn about this. I understand your concerns about Alora. Trust me, I'm not a fan of what's going on here. I'd be less of a fan if you tried to suddenly seize power and got more hurt in the process, or opened up your wound again. I don't want to do something stupid like that. Come on. It's not stupid if it'll keep us safe. but there's no guarantee of that. You're just putting yourself and the rest of us in danger here to protect your own ego, because you think you know best here. Just like... Asuka seemed to take a pause, hesitating at Amelia's words despite cutting herself off. Listen, Asu. I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. If I have a favorite here, it's probably you. But, you know, blindly scrambling for power just to feel some sense of control after you've lost basically everything you had helps in the moment, sure. Projection. But it feels shitty in the long run. Before you know it, you'll have pushed away everyone you did have. You want to really prove you don't deserve to be here? Don't repeat the shit that got you here in the first place. Yeah. Come on, I know you can be better than me. Listen, Asu. I understand you don't want to abandon us, or let us down this time to make up for the past, but... You're pushing away and ignoring everyone who's trying to help the situation. You want us to all work together, but putting yourself above us like this, it's just gonna split us apart. The way you're going about this, you're just doing the things that caused you to hurt people in the first place again. I might have abandoned my brother. I might have let down Kiko. But at least I'm trying my best to make up for it. To do what's best for anyone. To not leave anyone behind. I'm trying to rectify my old mistakes, even if you say I'm repeating them. Can you say you're doing the same? Asuka pushed past us and left the meeting early, clearly upset. Asu. Jeez. Sorry. Was I a little too harsh? They needed to hear it before they did something foolish. I suppose so. After Asuka left, an awkward silence filled the room, only interrupted by someone who stayed relatively quiet throughout most of the argument. Okay, god-awful timing. I don't know when else to bring this up, but... I brought some cookies. I know it isn't much, but don't complain. It's more than you should have. Plus, I kinda... maybe sorta completely used up almost all my food supplies in that feast, so... take what you can get. Well, thanks? I don't care how small it is, I'll take any scraps at this point. What are you, a dog? I'll bark, but knowing you're Truce, I think you'd enjoy that. Oh, be quiet and be grateful. Thank you, Amelia. Yeah, don't mention it. Felt a little inappropriate considering the current mood, but we all indulged in the cookies. Admittedly, our hunger got the best of us. Just hope Asu will be okay. I hope they don't do anything stupid. Yeah, me too. I'll check on her later, but you know how Alicia is about us going into one another's cells at night. You can do it if you're sneaking. Who the hell have you been sleeping with? Your phrasing is atrocious. I'll check on him tomorrow, first thing. As long as Laura doesn't drag me to the showers after giving me my morning dose. Speaking of which, it's getting pretty late. We should probably call it for the night. Especially if Asu isn't here for the rest of the meeting. Just feels weird to leave it on a note like that, you know? Hopefully this will give him time to dwell on things. Yeah, hopefully. I was a little worried about Asuka taking action after all this, but I tried to push that feeling to the back of my head. Well, guess we can try and parse things out tomorrow. Especially at the meeting. Ugh. Wait till tomorrow, the whole day is gonna feel tense as all hell. I just think it's something we need to sleep on. I doubt the hunger and time is doing any favors to remaining civil. Yeah, sounds like a plan to me. I'm gonna hit the concrete hay of my bare prison cell. Woo! See you all tomorrow. That's not. See you all tomorrow. Take care. Everyone slowly filtered out, the tension and uneasiness still not fully dissipating between us. But, before I could leave, I heard a voice behind me. Oi. Can I help you? Amelia looked away, letting out a small scowl under her breath. Can't believe I'm doing this. Let alone asking you of all people. Don't, like, make a big deal or anything out of this, but Amelia shoved the remaining cookie over to me. Excuse me? Are you dense? Just do it. Do what? I'm a little lost here. God, is your brain completely filled with rocks? It's obvious. Go find them. Give it to them. I think you two need to have a chat. One-on-one. Just make things right this time, before it's too late. Both of you need to make better choices this time. You know that better than anyone. So go put your money where your mouth is. I looked at the remaining cookie. I was apprehensive, but I knew that this time, Amelia was right. Me and Asuga did need to hash out some things. So I took it and looked at Amelia, a small smile on my face. Isn't your job meant to be making us all fall apart? Well, if it is, guess I'm a pretty bad employee. Not like I'd want to succeed at a job like that. I'd be no better than Hope's Peak. Thank you, Amelia. Don't mess this up. I won't this time. Shinku locked in. Wandered around the prison quietly for a moment, surveying room after room, one by one. It was a little nerve-wracking, risking getting caught wandering around this late at night, especially after everything with Fu and Alora the other day. But I know I needed to have this chat with Asuga, no matter what. Eventually, I peeked my head into the lecture hall and found Asuga sitting alone on the stage, legs curled up to their chest. I braced myself, carefully approached. Hey. Yeah, I didn't imagine she'd be up for talking right now. But even so, do you need to be alone, or can I sit with you for a bit? Asuga stayed silent for a moment, avoiding eye contact. I took their silence as refusal, so I sighed and stepped back a bit. I shouldn't force this. It's okay. We can always talk another time. Just take this. Amelia wanted you to have it. Huh? Put the cookie down beside Asuga before taking a few more steps back. I hope you have a nice night, Asuga. I turned to leave, but as I did, I heard their voice quietly behind him. I came in here to practice. Whenever I start feeling stressed or start overthinking things, the only thing that really calms me down is feeling weightless. Doing aerials. I did it a lot at the start of the game. I had so much muddling itself up in my brain. There's just so much on the line. So much to think about. So I thought it'd be easier to clear my head. Make it all seem light and airy. Just focus on getting through it. Now, every time I do it, I just reopen my wound. Just forced to sit here in the pain. It's funny, really. Something that used to make me feel so light is now the very thing that reminds me just how crushing and heavy everything here really is. Well, you know, you need to get some of your weight off your chest. You can always talk about it. It won't be the same as practice, sure, but it could help. I think I'd like that. I tentatively approached Asuga, sitting down with them on the stage, looking out on the empty seats in the lecture hall. In the meetings, I'd always felt a bit of tension between Asuga and me. Now that it mellowed, And I was left with the uncomfortable uncertainty of if this conversation would go well or not. GG.
I'm sorry for blowing up at you earlier. I think I'm just starting to reach my limit.
For what it's worth, I'm sorry too. I've probably been pretty frustrating these past few days myself.
Guess the real frustrating part was that I knew in part all of you were right. And I hated that.
No one likes being the one who's in the wrong. Don't beat yourself up over it too much.
How could I not, though? I hate Alora. I think I've got more than enough right to. But I'm not giving her enough grace. I'm isolating and othering her. I'm putting her in a position where she's got no one. I'm just doing the same thing to her that happened to Takiko. And I can't even hate myself for it, because I feel like she deserves it. But I'm sure others felt Takiko deserved it too. I'm a hypocrite. I promise I won't make the same mistakes, yet I keep doing the same thing over and over again. But even more than that, this whole time, I've just been doing the exact thing my mama did. The world failed me completely and entirely, so I wanted to stand up and live anyway. Make somewhere better. A new world. But I ended up just recreating the same things that made the world so unbearable for me. I gave people no choice. I tied them to me whether they wanted it or not. I told them lies and half-truths. And the worst part is, I was raising them to be exactly like me, to make those same mistakes. I really was so blinded by myself that I didn't realize what I was making. I was just telling myself it was better to protect my own ego, to convince myself I was good. Everyone always expected me to be terrible. Friends, teachers, even Nico. So I had to be good to spite them. But I'm just as bad as the rest of you. I'm just blinding myself and putting myself on a pedestal again, thinking I know best, shutting out anything that could prove I don't. Anything that could prove. In the end, I really don't know anything at all.
Now, I wouldn't go that far.
It's true, though. In the end, I'm just being stupid and childish. If I don't think about what I'm doing, I won't have to change it if it's wrong. That's what I thought anyway. But I'm not dumb. I know if someone has more than others. If things aren't fair, people get angry. Issues arise. That jealousy and spite and all those other ugly things start to boil up. But I kept putting myself above others anyway. It was so stupid. I don't make any sense. Not even to myself. Maybe I just wanted to feel like I had some control of my life, after basically being nothing but a living doll since I was born. But that's no excuse for staying that way, for making my own dolls. I promised myself I wouldn't make the same mistake I did with Takiko, that I wouldn't just ignore issues over and over until it got to a boiling point. Sitting back and letting everything pass me passively, not taking control, is part of what led to her feeling so isolated and hurt in the first place. I knew I had to do more this time, for her sake. No, for everyone's sake. But in trying to do that, I just doubled down, did the things I've always done. I just felt so powerless after Takiko and Taka got ripped away from me so quickly. And everything she said about me, about how I'd been acting, it felt like a slap in the face. But no matter what I did, whatever reality I checked into was still tinted with my fantasy that I was good. I think she'd hate what I was doing now. I guess everyone was right about me. There really must be something wrong with me, huh?
I think there's something wrong with everyone, honestly. I don't think there exists anyone. If
Oh,
you
shit,
just
sorry.
expect someone to be good all the time, you'll just end up feeling betrayed when they ultimately end up being human.
I just want it to be different. If I just end up being horrible, like everyone expected me to be, I'd feel even worse. I'd hate to prove those people right. But how am I meant to know what to do when it feels like I was never given a chance at a normal life? I wanted to make things right this time. I don't know how I messed it up this badly. How I let an audience who'd made so many harmful judgments get to my head.
I think the important thing is that at least you tried. You're going to make mistakes over and over again. I know I have. But each time, I think you'll learn a little more. And bit by bit, I think you'll learn to become someone you're more happy with. And I think that counts more than arbitrarily deciding if you're a good or bad person.
Someone I'm happy with, huh? I'm not even really sure what I want at this stage. It feels like I've lost everything. Takiko, Taka, Molly, even my circus. I don't really know what's left for me when I leave here. I'm scared for them as well. I don't want any of them to get hurt. I know that sounds silly, 'cause I put them in this situation in the first place. But I guess I assumed we'd never get caught. Guess I really am an idiot.
No, you're not. You're still just growing.
I just feel like I should have had everything all figured out already.
Well then, I guess you'll just have to keep living to fix that. To find what will make you happy.
I want to. I want to keep moving, but I don't know how I can possibly do that without leaving everyone else behind. They'll never get a chance to grow anymore. It just feels wrong to keep living, to keep moving, when so many others here didn't get that chance. That they'll forever be stuck as just a memory. And I'm stuck here, having become that horrible, rotten grown-up I promised myself I'd never be. Maybe that's why I could never bring myself to hate my mom. In the end, I'm just like she is.
Oh, come on. You don't want to stay as the person who hurts others. You wouldn't let Zeke get away with stagnating, would you? Or me?
No, 'cause I know that you can both do better.
And you can too. Just like Taka did.
And just like Molly and Takiko should have gotten the chance to do.
It's easy to just sit here and stagnate. It becomes pretty comfortable after a while, huh? But it's pretty silly to stay exactly where you are and then be surprised that the same thing keeps happening. That you keep feeling the same hurt. That the wound never really heals.
You're pretty silly, Shinku.
Yeah, I guess I am. But even if the others don't get a chance to continue living, to keep growing, that doesn't mean we can't grow. In fact, I think they'd be pretty upset if we had the chance they didn't get and just did nothing with it.
It would have been Taka's birthday today. He would have turned 21. It feels weird to know that soon I'll be his age. That the more time that passes, eventually he'll be stuck being younger than me.
I do miss Taka a lot.
Same with Takiko. She's stuck at 18 forever now. I miss Takiko and Taka more than anything in the world. Sometimes I just want to close my eyes and join them. I just want to see them again one last time. I want to apologize for everything. I hate that I got left behind. That I'm stuck here dealing with all these messy, complicated emotions. It's horrible, really. That a part of me hates that they left me behind. I don't want to be alone. I hate that I could never fix things. Sometimes, I think it would really just be easier to just join them. Living gets real tiring after a while. But maybe life isn't too bad. Sometimes it hurts so much to think I'll never see them smile again. But I guess all I can do is keep moving and finding things that make me smile. When I do see them again, I want to be the kind of friend she deserved to have. The kind of person who's able to say those words to Taka that I was never quite brave enough to. So, you're right. Even if they didn't get the chance, at least we have this chance to properly grow up.
Precisely.
Oh boy. I really hope... I really hope this ages better than the Shinku Molly conversation, because I'm very much getting similar vibes in the sense of, like, they're great conversations, and they do so much for these characters. But it was a crimson flag of death for Molly, and I am very scared for Asuka's sake.
I can grow, I can change, I can stop being so self-centered, I can focus on the world around me, I can take on all the wonderful lessons everyone has to teach me, all the things I'll learn from people I haven't even met yet, and see more than just my silly, childish little perfect world I've constructed.
We can all see outside of our own little stories and see the world for what it is.
I can grow. I can become better than all the adults who victimized me as a kid. And instead of making my own little world separate from it all, aim to make the world at large a better place, even if only by a little bit.
I think that's all we can really do.
Asuka smiled, despite the tears that were welling up in both our eyes, and snapped the cookie Amelia gave them in half, handing me one of the pair. Aww, that's so cute!
And I know what exactly I'll keep living for.
So, thank you so much for being a member for 7 months. Welcome back. I wish you a wonderful stream. Bye. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's been so fun. I always enjoyed the Antebellum streams a ton, so thank you again. Appreciate it.
I'm going to see the sunshine again. I'll walk in the sunshine, I'll run in the sunshine, I'll make a million mistakes in that sunshine. I'll fall down, I'll hit rock bottom, but it'll be okay. Because I'll look up and I'll know the sun is still there, that I can still feel it on my skin. That despite everything, I'm me. I still exist. And I've been given this chance to live with everything I've got. And I'm going to make the most of it. I'm going to become the person I want to be. For everyone's sake. For everyone who can't.
Please, God, be true. Please.
We will. Both of us.
Yeah, we will.
Happy birthday, Taka.
Happy birthday, Taka.
Aww. We tapped the two halves of the cookie together, and both took a bite. A bittersweet saltiness filled my mouth as the chocolate melted on my tongue. I couldn't tell if it was from my tears or the cookie itself. Either way, it tasted sweet, despite everything. We stayed there for a while, but we were interrupted as 2 people rushed into the room. Asu, there you are. We've been looking everywhere for you. Jesus. To be fair, yeah, we probably should have checked here first. Z? Lai? What are you doing here? Be careful. I don't want you guys getting caught and getting in trouble. I don't want you having to dwell on shit alone. If you get in trouble, then it's worth it. Looks like someone else beat us to the punch, though. Yeah, sorry. You guys... Asuka had only just calmed down a bit and stopped crying, but upon seeing Lyra and Ezekiel, they almost immediately burst into tears again. I am so sorry, you guys. I've been horrible. Whoa, hey. I was telling you off for getting on your high horse about your verdict, but I was doing the exact same thing. You've been nothing but kind to me since everything happened, and I just walked all over you and tried to tell you how to feel about things. Hey, come on, cut yourself some slack. You weren't exactly being the best either. We should have said something earlier, before it got to this point. Yeah, especially with how shit it can feel. No, you've been hurting people unknowingly for far too long. But still, I'm sorry. I really am. But sorries don't mean anything. Words can be pretty, but they can't solve issues alone. My posture. I promise you, I'm gonna be better from now on. We all are. I said it before, but if anyone here can grow, it's you. Yeah, like, come on. You're so young. You've got so much time left to grow. Don't stress you're not immediately perfect before your brain is even done developing. Okay, well, it's not like we're much older either. Oh, shut up. You're 23. You got, like, a year left to get your shit together before that sweet, sweet frontal lobe isn't budging one bit. You better pack it up soon, buddy. Yeah, I'll find myself after the game or some shit. I just don't want to get anyone else hurt while I make my stupid mistakes. Well, all you can do if you do is try to make it up to them in the future by doing better. Hurt us all you lack, as long as you listen to us when we tell you when you're being stupid. Only if you let me do the same. Seems we got ourselves a deal then, huh? Whatever, yeah, sure. Just stop opening up your wound, alright? You guys! Asuka hopped off the stage and ran over to Ezekiel and Lyra, grabbing them both and hugging them. There was a bit of reassurance from Ezekiel. Oh, Jesus, I can't read. There was a bit of resistance from Ezekiel, but he eventually joined in, and the three of them just held each other. I felt a little bittersweet watching them, but I was glad they had one another. I noticed during it, Lyra looked over at me, a small smile on her face, a strange look in her eyes, as if she was trying to reassure me, too. I knew what she meant. If they could work through their issues, I could too. And there was someone I needed to properly apologize to. A wound I needed to patch up. I just hoped I could be brave enough to find the words. Oh boy. Oh me, oh my. Alright. It's just about 10, so I think that's where we're gonna call it for now. Oh, another tape. We'll wait. We'll wait on the tape. It'll give us something to start. We'll start off with a bang tomorrow, because we're doing stream tomorrow, so it won't be too long. All right. All right. Awesome stuff, as usual. Man, I don't know who's gonna die. If I had to, like, place bets right now, top 3 are definitely, like, Alora, Lyra, and Asuka? Maybe not Alora, but I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be Zeke. It's not gonna be Shinku. I don't think it'll be Ismini. Yeah. But there's not that many people left. I don't think it's gonna be Fu. I don't think he's gotten quite enough screen time, but you never know what'll happen. We've still got, I guess I don't know exactly how long till the BDA, but tomorrow should be the strongest stream? Hopefully, yeah. Based on my rough estimations of what I've been told, so. Yeah, hopefully we catch up tomorrow. I'm so scared, but, you know, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. As long as it's not Lyra, it'll be fine. Or Alora. I would crash out pretty hard on either of them. But who's done jack shit this chapter? Yeah, kinda, but ah well. Anyways, though, we will be starting the same time tomorrow night, and we'll just be going until we have nothing more to go. So, however long it takes, we will be finishing. I am determined to finish it tomorrow, so I hope to see you all there. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your night, a great start to your weekend. Thank you all very, very much for coming, who are our top 3. At number 3, we have Ivoritalse, 238. At number 2, we have Hibiki's father. And at number 1, we have Mikey Mike. Thank you guys so much for the support, as always. And yeah, thank you all for hanging out. I had so much fun. I hope you guys did too. And I will see you all next time. Bye-bye!